Alright, welcome back to another episode of Art Time, and we've got ourselves a pretty gruesome episode tonight. Today we are drawing an entity from Reginald's Macabre cases, otherwise known as the Lacerating Doll, and I did not change this at all. This is annoying. It will stick with it, keep it. But yes, this is what we're drawing tonight, or in this case, shading and texturing, and maybe drawing the background. More likely than not. So anyways, if you enjoyed today's episode, please leave a like and subscribe for more. So, I had an idea on what this particular entity is. It's essentially porcelain, mechanical combination with some organic stuff like, guts, intestines, and whatnot. A doll that is controlled by essentially the soul of a dead child. And this dead child, for some reason, wants to cut up people. A whole bunch of people. There's probably most likely going to be a backstory as to how the hell this entity came to be, but I don't know it just yet. If you want to read it, read the, what he called entry in Reginald's Macabre cases. So anyways, yes, what the hell? Oh, right, of course. I forgot that that's how that works, because I kind of just deleted this bit instead of doing it like this. It's fine, it's an easy fix. Matter of fact. There we go. Alright, and it's fixed now. So yes, this is what this entity is. And this is not the most gruesome entity I've ever made, but it is definitely close. I don't know, maybe it is. I've not made that many. Well, there was this one drawing, but I'm not going to show you all of it. I want to focus on getting this done with. I don't exactly know what's occurring this Saturday, but, I'm pretty, or Saturday, this weekend I mean, but I'm pretty sure I might have to do 4 hours of nonsense at work. For some stupid reason. And now we'll say why it's a stupid reason. There's only one line running, and I'm reliever. Before, in the past, reliever don't need to come in on Saturday and Sundays when it's one singular line, because it's a waste of money and a time. Now, all of a sudden, that's changed with this new production manager, and I don't know why. You don't need it. It's a waste of time. At the very least, I only have 4 hours, but that's 4 hours being wasted. Assuming nobody else takes that remaining 4 hours, but I at least got rid of the entirety of Saturday, I believe, and half of Sunday. But still, though, it's really stupid. It's a waste of money. Doesn't matter if you get more stuff done with the, what you call it. You got like the entire week to do most of it. Ugh. I just don't get it. I just don't get it. Also, I forgot. Christ. There's these instances that occur. Wait a minute. Oh, why did I not bring that up? Of course it makes sense for these two to be brought up because they're above the lip. There's going to be mistakes. And I can't really help it. There's mistakes. There's going to be some instances here that shouldn't be, but it's easy enough to fix at least. Oh yeah, have you heard about that new movie that Markiplier's making? Man's out there creating a whole bunch of videos and whatnot, and now he's creating movies. Just outside of, the interactive, quote-unquote. I mean, I guess, yeah, technically if you put Telltale Games in the interactive games category, then you would have to put the Heist with Markiplier and In Space with Markiplier in the interactive games category. Although those choices aren't really like that ginormous. There's like the most is 3, and it's mostly just a choice between 1 or 2. And I know you can make an instance where you could have like all 3. Now, maybe if I could freaking bring my legs up and if I'm flexible enough, I could advertise several freaking things. But I don't know if I could do that. And since I don't edit, well, I can't exactly do that. Regardless, it's It's simplistic in the choices you can make, but there's still multiple choices, just not a whole bunch spreading out into, several different endings kind of deal. At least not when it was with Heist, but with Space, it's more like, yeah, there's multiple endings in the beginning, but it all comes together in the end. And if you choose wrong, you basically... And this is a reference that I'm sure many of you aren't going to get, but you basically Yu-Gi-Oh! It and go all the way back to the beginning again. I don't know exactly what the hell occurred during this particular time, whether or not Cartoon Network was in like a, legal dispute, or maybe the final episode was the movies, but I have this vague memory, and I believe I remember the final guy's name being Pegasus or something. Maybe it wasn't a case of him sending Yugi back in time and starting the entire season all over again, although that would be pretty freaking bold if it was. Because when I'm like, okay, then there's another episode of Yu-Gi-Oh! Coming up. Surely this is going to be the continuation, because for some reason I keep missing it. And back to episode 1. I'm like, what the hell? Now, I can understand that maybe back then young me didn't realize that there was probably like a movie finale tie-in and they couldn't get the rights to air it for some reason, so it just felt like at the end of the season, he just keeps getting sent back to the beginning of the episode. It all just starts all over again. And then that's that. That's the entirety of the season. He's stuck in a time loop that he can't get out of. But that's what I vaguely remember. I don't know if that actually happened, or if it is, or just the circumstances that occurred that made me think that that's how the entirety of that series ended. I would say maybe I can get my hands on, like, I don't know, if they remove Jujutsu Kaisen and Inuyasha from here, maybe it was, Full Metal Alchemist from here, because I think Inuyasha was Hulu? No, I don't remember. I highly doubt they have Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm trying to check it. No. They apparently have Chowder, but don't know how the hell that related to the search. Yeah, nope. Maybe it's on Crunchyroll, but I doubt it, since it's not in all... Well, maybe it is. I don't remember. It's been so long that I have no memories whatsoever. All I remember is a time loop. And that was it. At the end of that, there was just a time loop. So, yeah, as I was saying, it's in Space. One consistent ending. At least there's multiple in the beginning. And multiple in the end of the first part. But then it all comes back together again in part 2. Mm-hmm. Hey, what are you doing? Cat's walking around my clothes. I may got a new hamper, but I need to get a new drawer now. Because everything breaks, apparently. A lot. For some reason, a lot of things just break. Oh, I also got a new mouse, finally. So hopefully the entirety of, or the rest of Minecraft and Terraria with the scrolling is not going to be a huge pain in the ass anymore. Alright, so I gotta remember to put blood on these here chainsaws and whatnot. This one might be a little bit longer, again, because there's a lot to do. And I want to try to get this done with today, at the very least. Yeah, I gotta try to get this done with today. Now the cat... Did food drop from your mouth, you fool? Look, there's your food. Right there, it dropped. You idiot. Really, cat? I don't understand how you're so messy. Don't give me that look. Alright, anyways, yeah, this is going to take some time. This is supposed to be a drill, but I didn't really feel like... I mean, maybe probably use textures to make it look more like a drill. I think this is less about, like, cutting up and more like automatic cut-ups and whatnot. They got like an automatic, you know, stake thing. You know how that the blade that kind of just goes back and forth like that, allowing it to cut. Although this is a giant freaking entity, I highly doubt it needs to have anything assisting it in cutting up people. Oh yeah. You can't see it here, but there is the corpse, or at the very least, the quote-unquote living corpse of the child in the back of this doll, where most of the guts and intestines reside. So if you are able to get behind this entity for some reason, because this entity's in like this, actually, why don't I explain the dream that occurred that gave me the idea of this freaking thing. I don't exactly remember too much. All I remember was that I was in this like underground sewer construction area. There's like no water. It's like dirt path, but it's kind of like this giant construction play gym place kind of deal with like some sunlight shining in from above. And I was Crash Bandicoot for some reason. And then there was this thing coming at me, and then I slid underneath a pipe. Not a pipe, well, yeah, a pipe, but a giant pipe, you know, like giant. I don't exactly know what those are used for, but there's just giant pipes that a person can just walk in. We slid under there, and then that was pretty much where well, not where the dream ended, but close to where it ended, because I don't really fully remember. So yes, another one of those creatures of dreams, like that It's Paul Time guy, which I could probably show you it quickly if I could remember what it was. 21 or 22. Name started with an I. It was probably 22 then. Yep. It's Paul Time. I don't recall if I told you this story or not, but if I didn't, well, you know, I'm going to tell it again, just in case. Or if I did, I'll tell you again. It was a strange dream. There was this weird little me-looking thing in some kind of get-up. That was the closest that I could get it to. And it was running around with a needle, sticking it into people. And, you know, when it sees you, it has a like faint sound that you can hear no matter where you're at. And then he says, "It's Paul Time." In like somewhat of a Latino voice. Calm, low, but you can hear it like from a mile away, but it sounds like it's supposed to be whispered in your ear or something. And when he sees you, he runs to your last seen location. And if you don't hide or get out of the area in time, he sticks the needle in you and all of your blood is gone. Every single bit of it. Yep, it was strange. Very strange, and then that became real, that creature. Not a Reginald's Macabre Cases, because I think that was made before that. No. Maybe it was made before I fully started doing anything with Reginald's Macabre Cases. Regardless of the fact, that's a creature of dream that I've come up with. Just like the head gobbler, which I can somewhat remember where it came from. Oh, is it... No, it wasn't here. It was like 33 or something. Nope, never mind. Ah, here it is, 34. I was close. Yeah, this thing. This monstrosity over here. And if I can remember the story, I will tell you how it came to be. So there I was, in my dreams, playing Left 4 Dead 2. I even kind of remember the zone I was in. It was the second stage, you know, when you're in... Kittyland, I think, or I think it was just called that, right? It was the area with the clown. Shoot the clown! And we were going into it. We were already inside of it. And you know that one area with the food court? And there's like bathrooms over to like this one area. Like here's the bathrooms and then here's this warehouse looking area. So we were going to there. And all of a sudden a zombie just popped out of existence, and instantly came that head gobbler. It then ate a zombie whole, or I think it ate Coach whole first, actually. And then the character I was playing as, Rochelle, and I just saw the thing just running around and all the zombies just hitting at it, but they just kept getting eaten, and then I woke up. And I yelled, "Lenore! Lenore!" And then my teeth fell out. Peggy, you were there. I had a good Bill voice once, but I don't think I could do it right now with my tone of voice being what it is right now. You know what I mean? Can't do certain voices when my tone is completely different from what it needs to be. That cat. Cat's just licking her. She was slightly biting it, now she's licking again. Licking her paw. Right? You're just gonna look at me? Lick your chaps? No mouse. So yeah, that's how that thing came into existence. And then I drew it. Of course. As you would. As you would a horrific entity that you would see in a dream. There was another one that I have come up with in a dream again, but I haven't seen it. I believe I called the entity the Lagoon Muddler. And I believe the concept was I was inside a pickup truck with somebody, and we was driving over the, sturdy parts of what appears to be a muddy lake. And every time our truck dipped into the muddy lake, or at least the shallow end of the muddy lake, the entire earth shook before us. Like, whatever was inside the lake was angry because it heard something or felt something in the water. And we were able to get out of there, and I didn't see what the thing looked like, but I had an idea on what it would look like. Of course, I'm not drawing that yet. Am I going to draw it soonish? I don't know. There was another one, but it was more of a day-night dream. I was like trying to go to sleep, and then my thoughts were just like thinking of some stuff, and then there it is. It's called the Bird Maven, I believe. An entity that has a YouTube channel, and anytime you looked at one of the videos, played one of the videos, you get transported to what is essentially a replicate of our universe, but it's dark. And the only form of light is whatever electricity resides. And when you look up in the sky, it's just complete pitch darkness, with what appears to be like a bird eye in the sky, staring down. And then this giant bird lady-looking thing, not like hot, sexy avian lady. No, this is terrifying. This is a grotesque, looks like an old hag with a bird beak, two big eyes, and somewhat of a humanoid body, but in like raggy clothing of some sorts. And whenever it gets close to you, your eyes starts to glitch out until the only thing you see is the Bird Maven standing before you in your room, and you feel unbearable pain, and you hear your own screaming, but you can only see this as glitches out. There's some like bits and pieces of the glitching showing some of you getting ripped apart by the Bird Maven, and yep, that's what that came to be. But I only really saw what occurred, and it was more of like a daydream that I came up with while trying to go to sleep, but didn't fully. And I'm like, wait a minute, that's a good idea for an entity. Hold on, let me put this in my memory bank, and there we go. And that's how we got the Bird Maven, which we haven't even fully made yet, because obviously we are nowhere near doing that yet. First of all, I gotta do this, and I got 2 more that I can do in the next limitation period. So somewhere along the lines of this year, there's 2 more of these particular entities that I have in mind to draw. Which one, I'm not sure just yet. And most likely the Lagoon Muddler and the Bird Maven, if I were to have to say. I would have to take a wild guess. Mayhaps. Yeah, but that is how that one worked. It has a YouTube channel, and if you watch the video, you get one of the videos, you get transported to its dimension to get killed. And the dimension looks exactly like ours, except everything is dark. And if the eye sees you, then the Bird Maven knows where you're at. And then your fate is sealed. Now, there was this one thing that I thought of for, the Weird Factory. Remember the Weird Factory? The one with the ROTC cats that run it? Having some weird content in it for us to enjoy or get weirded out by. Ugh, Christ. Excuse me, I'm probably going to be a little gaseous because I had pizza and Pepsi, of course. Good old-fashioned Pepsi. Oh, here comes the hiccup. Oh, well, no. Surprisingly not. Surprisingly quelled it, tamed it. So this thing that I came up with in the Weird Factory is this strange door. They're all strange doors. Is this room that essentially takes you to the beginning of the Weird Factory. And what it is, so to speak, is, everything looks the same. You're kind of just going in with your stuff, but you've now just entered what is essentially a parallel universe. And the more you try to go through that same door, every time, the worse it gets. Because you gotta go down this elevator, go all the way down to the Z floor. And then after you've gone all the way down to the Z floor, you go all the way over to the door, go through it again, and you keep doing that. And the more you do that, the more areas in the Weird Factory starts to share the same theme as the themes prior to it. So we got the first theme from A, B, and whatever other letters there were there, until eventually it shares the second theme. Until it eventually gets to the point where every single floor is sharing the same theme as the Z floor. And that's when you've screwed up. Because now when you go back through the portal, back to your world, your universe, everything is dark. It's all darkness. And there's this monster that's lurking in the darkness in your world, trying to find any living being. And, you can't escape at that point unless you know how to transcend between dimensions and whatnot. The creature has gotten you inside of its domain. And that's one major reason as to why you wouldn't want to go into the Z floor, because of creatures like that capable of causing mass devastation. At the very least, to your life, not to anything else. Once that occurs, you're just gonna explode, most likely. So yes, that's one thing. Z floor is a lot of very terrifying and bad stuff. If you could find a room that doesn't have immediate death effects or psychological issues, then you can get a crap ton of the currency that the cats possess. Other than that, it's kind of just a worthless waste of your time. because you're going to experience some very bad things, and you don't want to experience very bad things. But yeah, aside from the weird factory, it's, we're mostly trying to talk about entities here. Trying to remember if there was another entity that I thought up of, in dreams at least. I don't really know. Let's see, maybe I could look back at my entity list in DeviantArt real quick. But I don't know if that's going to help. Also, we've just about hit 93k page views. Slowly but surely, we're going to reach that goal at some point. Here we go. Reginald's Macabre cases. Well, there was the White Witch, but that dream is so muddled that I can't really remember. Yeah, and then there's the Time Linker. If you don't know what the Time Linker is, well, let me tell you, son, it's not a good entity to come across. My best advice to you is to don't let it touch you. Because if it touches you, what it will do is simple. It'll go on ahead and link you with all other timeline variations of you. And it'll make you feel all of the pain that they have felt, that they have endured. Every single one of them. And there's an infinite number of timelines and possibilities. Meaning there are some timelines of you getting violently stabbed or violently ripped apart. And some timelines of you that don't experience any pain at all, but that doesn't outweigh the ones that do feel pain. Essentially, when you get touched by this thing, you experience pain unlike none other before. And the worst part is, you can't die from it. You essentially are given what is immortality. And you're forced to endure this for the eternity, really. And nobody will know how to do anything about it. I've made the drawing, and I gotta figure out where the hell that resides, but it has to reside somewhere. Matter of fact, where are we looking at right now? Okay, so it's somewhere after this thing, T. Oh yeah, the needle heart, but that's not the one we're talking. Here it is. The Time Linker. This is what you experience. Blood coming out of ye. And when it goes through solid objects too. So right now, its fingers is through this guy's neck. It's not a good entity to come across, that's for certain. And look at the timeline lines on his body and the gears and the the eyes. It's not a good entity. Very terrible one to go and find. Although all of them are pretty terrible. All of them are terrible their own way. It's just, what's your flavor of death? You want to die getting cut up to bits by this thing? Or do you want to live forever but experience all the pain that you felt in all the different timelines and whatnot? That's a would you rather question right there. If you were to die by the hands of this thing, it would be gruesome as hell, but it would probably be pretty quick. Painful as hell, but your suffering would at least be ended. Assuming that this thing doesn't just take your soul and consume it along with it, as a possibility. Aside from that, there's the, the sensation of immense, immeasurable pain throughout infinite numbers of timelines of yourself. And that's even worse, because you're not going to die, but are you even going to be able to do anything? At that point, you would be a vegetable. The pain is never ending, and you won't be able to get used to it, because this is the kind of pain that is more psychological as well as physical than just being, And plus, you're bleeding out of parts of your body because the pain is so much your body cannot handle it. All that blood coming out because it's unable to comprehend this level of pain. Where it thinks, well, I got it. The blood is thinking, where Blood thinks, I gotta get out and try to figure out how to fix this. There's some massive amounts of pain in this part of the body on the interior and outerior. Don't you mean exterior? I meant what I meant. And now I gotta go out there and try to figure out the issue. And the Blood's just out there drying up and is like, there's no issue that I can find. This pain is invisible. And then you're just there on the floor, dying, but not really. Not a fun way to go out, that's for certain. And there's multiple things. At least there are some entities that aren't instant and total death. Although there are those that are kind of just psychologically messed up. Am I able to find it? What was it, like a 45, 46, 40, 44, 43? Ah, here it is. This guy right here. This guy doesn't kill you. But he does make you do unspeakable things, as according to News 7. And it looks like I forgot what it was, but that one guy from Squidbillies combined with Rocky Dennis. I don't even remember how the hell I came up with that one. It definitely wasn't in a dream. Or was it in a dream? All I know is, if it was in a dream, I didn't see what occurred. All I know was, well, I know the implications. If it was a dream, I'm glad I woke up before anything happened. Ooh. Just imagining the, oh, I forgot the guts. How could I forget the guts? Whoops, I didn't want to do that. But yeah, this thing makes you do unspeakable things. There's no easy way to say this without, I'm pretty sure with this it's already demonetized, but it makes you do things to a being a word, yes, to a human, and it's not pretty. There's a small subset of groups that are sick in the head that would enjoy this, and everybody wants them dead. That's what that thing does to you. If it sees you on the TV, and the countdown goes down, it will automatically do the thing, bring whatever thing it abducted into this area, and because of its effects, you are forced to undergo doing those things. You cannot resist it. Not enough willpower to resist doing the horrible thing. You do not want to... You do not want to be in front of the TV when this thing comes on. And it can come on whenever. It'll come on, go through a slit in the screen. You just see this guy coming out. And then he just says his thing. It has a very particular voice. It almost sounds like Ricardo in a sense. It goes like this. Bye, little girls. Or bye, little boys. And depending on whoever you are. If you're a guy, it says the girl line. If you're a girl, it says the boy line. It's not pretty. It's a psychologically messed up entity. And it's even more messed up when you think there's a fucking giant screen TV in New York. You can't turn it off. You can't unplug it. It still does its thing. No matter what you do, it will stay on screen. And this giant thing in the freaking skyscraper looking over thousands of people. Let me just tell you, it's worse than, I haven't been, but Woodstock. Except it's all illegal, it's all non-consensual for both parties, and it's just all horrible. It is the worst feeling you could ever experience. You want to help this person, but you can't, because whatever thing this entity does to everybody it affects, it's like a harsh version of mind control. Hypnosis, kind of. Except you kind of are conscious through the whole thing and can't stop it. It's the worst experience you will ever feel. Now, I'm saying that assuming all of you aren't into that crap. But yeah, it's not good. That's the one entity that doesn't outright kill you. Granted, what it makes you do probably makes you want to, But yeah, it's not an entity that just outright murders you. So I would say put up a case of a would you rather scenario. Would you rather experience the worst kind of taboo in the histories of taboo? Or do you want to get sawed up, chainsawed up, drilled up, sawed up again into probably millions of chunk-sized pieces? Ugh. Still can't look at that without wanting to just rub my eyes. You know what I mean? I honestly don't know. I don't want to die like this, but I also don't want to do the other thing. Unless there's some loophole I can perform. I don't exactly remember, but I'm pretty sure you have to finish in order for the person to get sent back to whatever dimension that thing is from. Which is terrible because you know you've done something bad, and now you know that you can't fully save them because they've just been brought back into wherever that monster lives. Christ, it's hard to say, really. If there was a choice between all the entities I've made, I don't know which one I would want to have the unfortunateness to come across. I mean, the cancer eater, though, is, I guess, something that I would... It depends. Am I going up to it? I guess, yeah, if the entire point here is you succumb to the effects of the entity, then yeah, you have no choice but to go up to it. You're in Antarctica, the North Pole, and on an expedition with something. You're on a tour or some shit, and you come across the cancer eater. But the cancer eater is territorial. It won't kill you if you are, living your life normally, but if you're inside of its territory, it will. I wouldn't want to come across that. Well, there is the old Predator. This is an old one, like real old, album 16 old. But the thing is, we don't... Okay, you and I, because I know that my audience is 18 and over, you and I would never get affected by this thing. Because it only goes after, of course, children. If I remember correctly, there was a strange image I had of the similar face of that guy in the back of the car seat laughing, and then he was screaming as he was bashing the back of the car seat in the police officer's vehicle. And I'm just there with the police officers looking at each other. And we look back and the guy just appeared. And then here's the terrible part. The child that we saved just got yoinked by this guy who then faded out of existence. It was terrible. We caught him. He somehow managed to escape his handcuffs, Tattletale Strangler style, and he faded into nothingness. And that was that dream. That was a dream, wasn't it? A terrible dream because it ended up with us failing our freaking mission. But can you blame us? This thing is a dimensional entity, I believe. If I remember correctly. Actually, I have it right here. Dimensional entities. It is not a dimensional entity. Oh wait, it was presumed to be a dimensional entity, but right now it's considered the viral entity. Right. Man, one favorite from long ago, with only 197 views. You can tell that was a very old one from 2017. Now we're hitting 1K, which is pretty good. But anyways, yeah, that was an entity that was terrible to come across. It doesn't affect you and me, so I guess if there was any entity that I would be affected by, it would be that because it can't affect me. But would that make it null and void? I have no idea. It would make it null and void. Maybe it's just a psychological effect of, we saved this child. and we handcuffed this weird old man in the back of our cop car. We looked away for like a second. He disappeared. Freaking. There was a certain meme that I know I shouldn't be making a meme of this because this is terrible. But there was a certain meme where it's just. It's not yoink, but it's similar. He just disappears with the person we just saved, and oh boy, failed. Everything has failed. It's very traumatic. What do we do now? Kind of see it scenario. It's a psychological effect. Well, I don't really have children, and neither will I ever, so I don't think it would affect me as much because of the fact that I don't have to worry about losing anyone to that. I don't believe so, anyways. Either way, it's definitely a psychological effect that the entity will leave on adults who are trying to save people from this monster, but they can't. And it just goes on ahead and continues doing its thing, and everybody's just depressed because they can't stop it. Which makes sense. This is not an entity we can just stop as easily if it is able to blink in and out of existence. We've stated it was a viral entity, but it might be a dimensional entity, and it might change at some point, who knows. But that's one entity that I feel like we would be better off at experiencing, since it's not something that directly affects us. I don't know, Head Gobbler deanimizes you in an instant. But also, do you want to be vored by this giant, disgusting-looking head? Nah. That's not good either. That's pretty terrible. There is that smothering terracotta, but instant suffocation. If it misses, you experience like severe pins and needles in whatever body part it attached itself to. Because what that does is it flies into you. Its body is soft and moldable like clay. But then as soon as it attaches itself onto something, its atoms merges with your atoms. So now you basically just have atoms kind of just heavily affected by, this thing. And if it goes into your head, well, there you go. Lights out immediately. No survival for you there. It's just instant death. Pixel screamers are kind of just terrible because your face explodes as you scream from the insanity that you feel. Whoops. Wait a minute, what? Oh, I combined this when I didn't mean to combine this. God damn it. Okay, it's whatever. I mean, actually, maybe I could just do this. Yeah. No. Do this. There we go. Yeah, Pixel Screamer, I mean, even if it's instant, it probably isn't good psychologically. I don't know. Are you still alive? As the thing takes over your face with a giant hole in your mouth, or face, not mouth. The new mouth on your face, I guess. It's not good either way. Yeah, that's probably not something I want to go up against either. Man, it's hard to say. I wouldn't want to die to any of these entities. Really makes it difficult to not want to pick the abducting trafficker. Because at least I'm still alive. But then again, that also means that's everyone out there in the world who was unfortunate enough to hit that. Oh, but that also is another thing. Not just yourself personally experiencing traumatic experience, but everybody in that universe who got abducted by that thing. Oof. Yeah, no, that's probably even worse. Like, not worse for us, because we're just going to experience psychological trauma. But at least we'll still be alive. Maybe. Would we still be alive? Would we really be, like, full of tremendous guilt that we would just off ourselves? Probably. It's hard to say. I'd like to think I have the mental will to undergo that, even though I don't want to. But I also just, it might just be my freaking overconfidence speaking, and then I just end up being very, very depressed and miserable, and knowing that somewhere out there they're in this space, forced to undergo this creature's constant effects. That's definitely like a huge mental trauma dump. Oof. The only other options we really have is a quick and painful death or a slow and painful death. And the blight cortex is also terrible because you'll get turned into the things that it creates. Yeesh. Yeah, it's like being turned into a zombie at that point. It's hard to say. Lacerating Doll is terrible. I don't want to get cut up and drilled. Yep, if you want to play along with this game, what entity would you like to be under the effects, or would you rather be under the effects of, I guess? Amongst all of the entities that I've made so far. All of well, this says 76, but that's not the case. I don't know how many I have exactly. 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37. 38 entities. Really? 38? Well, actually, yeah, like, okay, 12, 16, that's 28. Yeah, it's 38. Huh, interesting. Oh, yeah, the Chop Puppet. Devil Child, which is basically just turning you into a slave of the hotel, this child. Now, that child experienced some terrible shit. You want to feel bad about yourself and about humanity in general? Read how the Devil Child turned into this entity. This entity capable of just killing off people and turning them into her puppets that runs this hotel constantly. It's very sad. And also just very terrible to like, come across this child. And there's also Bloodshed Fred. Oh god, no. Whatever death he gives you is randomized. You know, I don't even remember where the hell this was. It had to have been like 21 or something. Where is it? Chop Puppet. Yeah, it's after that. It has to be like somewhere in like 29. Here it is. Bloodshed Fred. There's Peggy. There's Bobby in the background. And it was all just this guy going after Hank for some reason. He ejects you with this strange liquid, and your body undergoes some effects that could be... It all ends up in death either way. But it's random death. Your body could literally just get compressed into like hundreds of thousands of cubes. And then basically all those cubes pop off, and there goes all of your body parts in cubes. Perfect cubes as well. No holes, no air, not hollow. Perfect cubes filled with everything. Or you could, your head can grow very small and shrink until you have no more head. It shrinks so much that it turns into the size of an atom and just collapses in on itself in nothingness. Or you get stuck and you quickly age in reverse until eventually you turn into a fetus, and then a sperm, and then dead. Yeah, bloodshed Fred is probably the worst to come across because no matter what, you're going to be inflicted with some kind of death. I have no idea. The kind of deaths that bloodshed Fred gives you could be quick, painless, or slow, painful, or he gets a successful injection, and now you're this hulking monster or something. Yeah, that's probably not an entity I'd want to go up against. Oh wait, also, did I? Right, I did. Well, we can't see shit here. That's E, fool. I want an O. This entity is definitely terrible. I've said this multiple times, but I will constantly say it. It's terrible. You don't want to come across this one. The zipping excavator is also a very terrible one. If I can remember when the hell I drew. Oh, it's easy enough. This is what it does to you. It creates zippers in certain parts of your body and then takes all that out. Terrible entity. I know it's small, but if you want to see the full image, just go on my DeviantArt, and I am in the hand folder. I'm not in the saw. No wonder why nothing's happening. Just go into the DeviantArt folder. You're going to need an account, unfortunately. So when you get your account, be wary. I've got mature drawings that aren't in the same vein as this, and actual, the good kind of mature, not the bad kind that is psychologically horror-inducing like this one. Matter of fact, I don't even know how the hell YouTube is going to take this. I mean, it's horror, right? You see this horror thing and you're just like, YouTube's just sitting there wondering, is this something age restricted? I mean, it would make sense if this one would get age restricted because this is literally a man getting cut off. Look, he's missing part of his tongue. That's the least of his problems. Yep. Missing part of his tongue. Man, what a shame. Surely that's the worst thing that could happen to this man right here, right now. Yep. Definitely nothing more worse could occur to this guy. These guys just getting cut up and ripped to shreds by saw blades. I don't know what entity I would choose. If I had a choice in the matter, I really don't know. I guess maybe instead of a would you rather of what entity you would rather die from, how about what entity would you rather have in your on planet? Real life. That's hard to say. Because, well, actually, no, that's not hard to say. The Cancer Eater. What am I saying? That's actually pretty freaking easy. Okay, so, yeah, Cancer Eater's pretty easy. But aside from the Cancer Eater, if the Cancer Eater was not on the option of what entity you would rather have in this reality of ours, which one would we choose? Of course, excluding, say it again, the Cancer Eater. I mean, where was it? I know it was here. Where was it? 36? No. 37? No. 38? No. 45? I can't remember where the hell I drew this thing. Oh, wait, it definitely had to have been early because of the fact that I wasn't working. Why am I even... wait. I'm getting memories. It's 34. Or not. Where the fuck were you again? Oh, yeah, Mudflap the Clown. I don't know. It's in raceway areas, parks, and whatnot, with vehicles as the main thing. Did you hear that crack? I did this. Why can't I find it? Ah, there it is. Am I hot or cold? I think I'm cold. Yeah, I'm cold. Okay, then it would have to be 37. No, it has to be around here somewhere. Where the fuck? You're... Yeah, Cancer Eater. C. Creeping Corpse. Okay, Creeping Corpse. Oh yeah, that's another thing. This. Look at all that. Ugh. That's just terrible. This thing. It's just a mannequin, basically. But it's like the Weeping Angel, except instead of taking you to whatever dimension it takes you to, it uses its fingers to tear you apart, limb from limb. Where the hell is this thing? 41? Okay, it was 41. This is what I would bring in. If I had an option, this thing. It eats cancer. So long as you don't go to its domain in the North Pole, you're fine. Go to the domain in the North Pole, you've kind of asked for it. It's territorial. It's doing you a favor. It's killing cancer for you. Although I'd imagine those who are trying to use cancer as a mean to make a shit ton of money are like, this thing cannot live. And that's the excuse that they're going to keep using as they try to kill it, but then they realize that they're going to be unable to kill it because it's basically able to deteriorate basically anything that enters its territory. And then they will just all get themselves... They don't even get anybody killed. I feel like it would just be an effort for, everybody in the whatever government is trying to keep cancer alive and well for some stupid reason, is going to probably sacrifice people to try to kill this thing, drafting them to take on the Cancer Eater. And then I'm going ahead and say, the Cancer Eater is passive, provided you don't go into its goddamn territory. All it does is eat cancer. That's all it freaking does. You don't need to kill it. Stay away from the North Pole. Find its domain. Build giant fences around it. Build a giant dome around it. You're wasting people's lives trying to kill a thing that actually helps us. And then they try to shoot me because they, they don't want people to know the truth. But then in this particular reality, I'm freaking Arnold from Total Recall, and the bullet being shot in my direction sprung me into action, and I dodged it, and then I did Arnold Schwarzenegger moves on them, and boom. There they go. They got beat. And now there I am, Arnold Schwarzenegger against the world. I don't know. It's just I just imagine that that's what would occur with these asshats and their freaking greed. Trying to kill a very useful entity, albeit very grotesque looking, but it's fine because it's trying to help us by eating the cancer, which in turn helps itself because it needs to eat cancer to survive. There would technically be no cure for cancer, but if you get cancer, it's gone like that because this thing eats it. Maybe not like that because it has to have its atomic particles kind of fly far out to find the cancer. It's like it's got heat-seeking atoms that finds cancer and then deteriorates it and brings it to it, which it can then consume. It probably explains why that thing's a mass of flesh. The more cancer it eats, the more bits of flesh it grows. And it'll keep growing until it gets to a point where it can digest all the cancer. And then it starts all over again. Maybe what it does is converts all of that energy to ozone. But I don't think that's what its purpose was. I don't think it grows. I think it just is. And it just eats cancer to live. And that's the entity I would bring in if that was the option. But if I had an option, I have no clue. What is the worst entity to bring in? Any entity that kills a bunch of people, I guess, makes the most sense. But if there's an entity that is probably the worst to bring in for anybody, it's definitely the abducting trafficker, no hands down. Yeah, the time linker is terrible because it creates a scenario where you could potentially come across it, and then it goes on ahead and makes you feel unimaginable pain far beyond any universe. But in terms of just statewide, worldwide panic, and watch your tail, cat. I'm rolling. But in terms of worldwide panic, and everybody suffering from a traumatic experience, or knowing that there are people who are suffering from traumatic, that and the fact that some mother is crying out there because their kid was taken by this entity, there's no doubt in my mind that the abducting trafficker is probably the worst entity to have in the universe. No doubt. No cap, it is definitely not an entity you want to ever see on your TV screens. Even if you know how to deal with it, just seeing the entity and knowing it exists means that there are probably dozens, if not thousands, of children who are now within this entity's domain, and it's trying to do its thing and force people to do not good things. It's not a good entity. It's terrible. It's the worst. I have not created anything worse as of yet in terms of wide-scale panic. Outside of maybe entities that infect and kill people off, the cyst hive or blight cortex or the head gobbler. Or hell, even the freaking gruesome splinter thing that when you get... It's the humanoid splinter monster with some wood planks kind of just in a very particular pattern to make it look like a human. That shoots its splinters at you, and if you get stuck by it, all the splinters form a whole bunch of sharp, small bits of wood inside your body until your body explodes and you turn into one of them. And this happens in an instant. So if you get hit like this, you turn into it. No flesh left except for the blood left on the wood chips and the planks of wood. That's a very panic-inducing entity, but yeah, it is definitely panic-inducing because if it sees you, if you see it, it can definitely see you immediately before you can even have enough time to react. If it has you in its sights, if you're, let's say you're here, all the way over here, and it's here, and there's a wall here, and it's facing in this direction, and it's, as soon as it goes get out from behind a wall, it automatically knows where you are. It doesn't even look, it just shoots immediately in your direction as it turns to face you, and you get turned into it. They wander around in search of things to infect and turn into these things. Those are pretty bad. Yes, I will say that much for a fact. It definitely would cause wide-scale panic because, well, it's out there, walking around. Wait a minute, did something stupid happen here, or is this... No. Wait, no. Yes? Something stupid did happen. Right, of course. Well, it's an easy fix. I just gotta delete the tendrils and replace them with the actual tendrils. I think this one is more constrained. If I am thinking about this right... Wait a minute. Okay, just need to make sure I didn't accidentally delete... I probably did, didn't I? Did I delete it? No. I'm pretty sure this entity is a constrained entity. Granted, the only other instances I've seen of this entity was in dreams, and it was in an area that didn't look like it would be able to get out. I imagine this entity is indeed a constrained one, stuck in whatever construction playground it's in. That's the... Actually, yeah, if it states... Wait a minute, that's a good story. Let's just say that there was an on-site accident and take your daughter to work day or some shit. And there was a saw blades used to dispose of wood or metal bits. Yeah, to dispose of metal bits, and an accident occurred. And then the child fell into the thingy. Yes, that thingy. And then after some time, the entity of this thing occurs. Let's say that the child had like a doll similar to this, but less creepy, and more like what an actual doll would look like. Plus, it's probably gonna be like a bunch of dirt, so maybe some blood. I haven't gotten to the blood end parts yet. Right now, we just have clean cuts with no blood whatsoever. We're gonna put blood here, no matter what. I'll tell you what, bud. What you looking at, Can't? What you want? Yep. Anyways, yeah. That's probably what the story is going to be, if we can think of it. I don't know if I can think of it or not. Okay, hold on. There are some things here that I should do. Like have this here. There we go. Cat yawning. Yeah, so that's probably what's going to happen, and if I can't remember, well, I guess I couldn't remember. I guess we'll have another side story. I'm definitely getting this posted today no matter what, though, so I gotta do some stuff here. At a much faster pace than what I'm going at right now. We've been at this for an hour so far. Also, I kind of took some time to not work. Well, I guess I already did work on Paint Maze today. I got a jingle made for the finish line stuff. Now I gotta try to figure out how to have music consistently play so that when the level restarts, it doesn't restart the music as well. There's a way to do that. And I think it has something to do with don't destroy on load. Makes me wonder if I should have a loading screen. I don't know. A loading screen would make sense, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'm not sure at all. A loading screen would make sense, wouldn't it? But it's not like these levels take ages to load. I haven't figured out how that works yet, because I haven't fully gone to that section yet, obviously. I guess we'll find out when the time comes. I'd say maybe if I have enough time, but is there anything more that I want to do before I do anything else? Maybe get a head start on the others drawing. I do have supposedly a Saturday off, so maybe I can do that on a Saturday instead. It's just a waste of a Sunday. Coming in for one goddamn fucking line. It makes no sense. None of it makes sense. They really just don't make sense to me. I want to use my time better instead of what's being forced upon us right now. Granted, I could use a half a sick day on that day, but I already used it and I don't want to waste it so frequently like I've done in the past. That's what I want to try to do at least, but man, it's just tempting me to want to use it, but I guess we'll deal with it. I think it's triple pay, right? On a Sunday? So technically speaking, if We're making like, I don't know the exact number, around $20 an hour. Probably over that, but I'm just using 20 as a baseline so I don't have to do advanced math. Ah, yes, advanced math. 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, so on and so forth until 30. You think that's advanced? Wait until you see God math. Yeah, God math. It's basically just, I don't know, some stuff. Fractals. Sure, why not? I didn't even know what fractals were. I don't think I was taught that in school, and if I was, I forgot. Because I have a memory of, I wouldn't say a goldfish, because I am able to remember most of these entities for some reason. I got selective memory issues. I can remember some things, no problem, but I can't remember everything. Or can't remember every. Of course, I can't remember everything. I can remember some things, but not all things. A lot of things I forget. I don't know why. Oh, look at that! It's 12:35. Me wonders. I do remember there was supposed to be a sale for a very particular thing in this game, so I'm bringing it up right now just to see. Ah, loud! Forgot that was high because I still had my shows on. Okay, nothing occurred. Alright, it's good. I guess that won't be until later. I guess tonight, because now it's Wednesday. I have no clue what the hell this would look like. I have not cut up a single person, so I don't know what this would look like. I don't know, would there be eyes sockets in this area, or is this just like is it like right here? Just below the socket? Would there be bones? There would be bones, wouldn't there? Where the fuck would the bones be? Wait. Actually, that makes sense. Do I have a bone free? I don't, but you know what? That's fine. Let's just say the bones here got destroyed or something, but there's... We just... Hold on. Ugh. I have no clue what the hell this would look like. Let's just assume it would probably look something along the lines of this. Bones! You thought it couldn't get any worse? Bones. Bones. The evil bone wizard when he sees me. I'm definitely allergic to bones. Oh shit! It's like if you acknowledge the fact that you're allergic to bones, then the bones explode you. Your body's like, oh right, I forgot about that tidbit. Give me 1 second. And you're just dead because your body was just remembered it's allergic to bones, and now you're just sitting there questioning why. Why did I explode? I had all my life I had bones in me. I don't even know what the hell this would look like. Frick, would it look like this? Like I said before, I've never cut up a single person, so I have no clue what the hell this would look like. I'm just going to assume that the bone probably looks like this. Sure, a butt bone. Although it's not really a butt, it's more like a handlebar mustache upside down, but yeah, you get the point. This is a bone. A skull bone. It's probably not right. I don't know. Isn't a skull hollow or something? Well, if there is anything then I can do... I would probably do it like this. Like so. Yeah, like that. Okay, good. Great. That's as much as I'm going there. I don't know what else occurs here. Wait a minute. Let's just say that this is the bottom part of the jaw, maybe. I don't know. The flesh would probably still be there. Guy's teeth is definitely gone now. Wait. Would that... Okay, actually, that would make sense. If the teeth got cut off, then that would mean that there would be bits of the bone beneath, I think. I don't know. I don't know human biology as much. Actually, I don't really know human biology at all. Whoops. Don't want to do that. Okay, that's cool. That's great. I forgot that was still there. Bone. I don't know where this is. Where is this? I guess that works. I don't know what the hell this is. Bits of flesh. Probably. Matter of fact, why don't I change this to a more redder color? Red? Well, close-ish. Yeah, sure, why not? I didn't save any of the colors for these guys here, because I didn't think I would ever draw them again. First of all, how the hell would I draw something that's literally minced meat? Or at least in the process of being turned into minced meat. These guys are dead. D-E-A-D, dead. And they're not coming back. They're the ones that are definitely not coming back. The girls that I've drawn that got dead by their entities, they have a chance of coming back. If I so desire to draw them again, for some reason or another. That one girl who got her entire back and chest completely ripped apart by the mannequin, the creeping corpse, she might come back. Tish but a flesh wound. Wait. Tish but a flesh wound. See? I grew another arm right. I grew another arm Piccolo style. I don't quite know what that even means. Neither do I. It's just another flesh wound. Christ. Anyways. This chainsaw needs to get shaded. Oh, and this thing. I could definitely do, maybe some shadow? No. Without red, without blood, it's not going to look good. It's going to look like rust. Which I guess most of these are probably going to look rusty. Rusty and blood. Rusty blood. Probably not healthy being cut up by this thing. Probably going to get all forms of tetanus. Aside from tetanus, you get missing limb syndrome. Maybe you get turned into a layer cake. But it's not that kind of cake. Tastes like iron. Squishy. Very squishy. Tender in some areas. Almost feels like raw meat. And probably a little bit of dirt here and there, because I'm sure whoever cut up this layered cake probably isn't doing it in a kitchen environment. Matter of fact, it's probably cutting him up and making it go over the floor. Matter of fact, I don't even think the thing cuts the cake up. I think whoever made this layered cake was just some random troll who just so happened to come across the perfect amount of ingredients upon walking along this trail of blood that this thing leaves behind. Its own blood, and the mixture of other bloods. Oh, that's a good question. Out of all of the 38, I guess now 39 entities that I've made, which one would make a good, movie out of? That is a good question. If you were to have to make a movie out of any of my entities, and you can only choose one, which one would it be? It's got to be a horror movie, obviously, because these are monstrous beings. If there was a game I would make, it would definitely be the one with Bloodshed Fred. But we're not talking about games right now. We're talking about horror movies. Oh god, an abducting trafficker horror movie? That's not like the horror you expect. That's just psychological traumatic horror. Oh god, could you imagine it? And just everybody, okay, imagine this. Set the scene. You're in New York Square or something. There's a giant TV screen showcasing the news. There's thousands of people walking along the streets. And all of a sudden, loud as hell, you just hear, "Bye, little girls," or at least that's what you would hear, because there's no way that you can have the producers somehow make it so that the voice lines change depending on who's watching it, what gender is watching it. And you just see everybody just looking up at the TV screen, looking confused and unsure of what the hell this is. They just go about their day, think that this is nothing. And then, like, the timer counts down. And you just the scene keeps switching between people just enjoying their day, doing their thing, and trying to, like, enjoy their lives. While there's, like, certain news channels playing on in the backgrounds, talking about countless amounts of abductions of children from around the world, and just the string keeps going up and up and up until eventually the freaking countdown goes down to 0, and then the guy on the screen is like, "Another satisfied customer," as he walks out, and it happens. All the kids that were described as abductive comes out of seemingly nowhere, and everybody who was affected by this looked confused, and you see everybody with strange faces, and those that weren't affected by it just looking confused, looking around. And you got the main character who, okay, let's say he's a cop or some shit, I don't know, but this is a changeable who just looks around, looks confused. He wasn't a part of it. He came out, he sees everybody looking confused. He saw, like, the missing children that his task force was supposed to find. And then he comes out and sees every children there. And then the bad times happen. Oh, this is the part that's just horrifying. All of it's implied, obviously, because there's no way you can show that on the big screen. Trust me. Unless the producer is Dan Snyder, trust me, there's no way you're going to see this. It's just implied. And you just see some people. There's some man taking off his pants, running in the direction. Some people just look horrified who aren't, like, affected by it. And there's just all the police officers are just, they come onto the scene as they, like, get hundreds of 911 calls as they're, like, trying to figure out what the hell happened. There's some bystander just looks up at the TV screen and is like, "What the fuck?" And he's like, "What did that thing do?" or some shit. And then there's just, like, all chaos breaks loose. It's just like horror music playing on in the background. More children popping up. More adults freaking doing things that are traumatic. And after, like, all is said and done, one guy just rocks back and forth, cries, and then another guy throws himself in front of a moving vehicle that somehow is moving because the traffic is not affected in this area. And it's just horrifying. It's not even bloodshed horrifying. It is literally psychological horrifying. Mother's crying because she found her child and then saw what happened, and you just hear her crying, and oh god, it's making me just feel, oh god, that is the worst. It's a good horror movie because it just makes you want to just crawl into your skin and cry out your freaking eyes out, because it's like it's worse than Two Girls, One Cup, or that one guy who was he was either shitting into a glass or picking it up with his ass. I don't know what he did. I didn't see it. Consider it like number one most psychological, traumatic movie that you will probably ever see. I don't even know if that movie can even get made. Even if the scenes are implied, it's just, it's bad. And I don't even know how the hell you would be able to. That's not a movie that could be just joke horror kind of. That's a movie where it's like pure horror. And there's a movie that I don't even think you can have like some kind of conclusion to it. Unless you want to go off the script and have like a task force of police officers somehow entering into this entity's domain. But that's not possible. Not unless this is a sci-fi world we're in, but if this is a modern world, there's no way this would end good. There's no way you can resolve it. This is a kind of movie that cannot be resolved, and it's just horrible. Horrible for everybody. God. That is, in all rights, that is probably the best kind of horror movie you could make out of all the entities, because it hits all the points of just straight up psychologically induced traumatic horror that you will ever see. How many times can I say those words? Put a counter down here. Imagine a counter down here. Yeah, the entity was already bad, and just like having a scene in my head, describing it right here and trying to make a movie out of it, that just makes me want to hide inside of a box and not have a computer screen or TV screen anywhere near me. You want people to not want to be on their computers or phones or watching TV anymore? What was that noise? If you don't want people to be on their phones and TV anymore, show them that movie. They'll be horrified. They'll think, oh God, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that to somebody. What the hell? Why does this exist? I'm just imagining Moist Critical's review on it right now. I'm just imagining it just being... there's no good ending. It's all just bad, and it's just a horrifying experience. I couldn't finish the movie because it was too horrible to just sit there and just... Imagine seeing a mother crying out for her child's name and just seeing... I don't even want to say... He would say it without any issues, but I just don't want to say it because I just don't like it. Ugh. God, it's just sad. It's the kind of horror that makes you sad. Cringe, recoil. Why not just get underneath a blanket, hold it tight, not under a blanket, but wrap yourself in a blanket, hold it tight, and just freaking think about happy places. That is... Let's just be thankful. I don't think he would do this anyways, but let's just be thankful that Markiplier is doing an Iron Lung movie and not an abducting trafficker movie, because that is... I don't know what's more horrifying. A giant fish monster trying to break into your submarine, or thousands of children being abducted and thousands of adults being affected by this entity's... I'm going to show you the picture again. Now that I've stated it, you understand why these guys are afraid. This guy's trying to put a blanket over. This guy's jumping over. Granted, perspective at this time wasn't as good. This guy's running. This girl's hiding behind a TV. Everybody's just trying to get the hell out of the way of this TV. Could you imagine just some father who lost his kid, mother committed suicide because he was affected by this entity. He's just sitting in front of this TV screen, looking at the news with a very terrified face. Guy comes into the thing, the TV, the abducted trafficker shows up, and father's breathing heavily as a timer countdown. He gets up, smashes the TV down, and stomps on it with his boot. His work boots, as he just screams and cries out. He's like, ah! Ah! Or something like that. And I want to try it because if I try it, I'm going to wake people up. He's just crying. Looks like he's freaking disheveled and is just done. This is a broken man. Lost his child. Mother saw the child. Mother committed suicide because of what she saw. he's alone, and this thing has the audacity, the galls, the chutzpah to show up on his TV. It's taken so much from him. I feel like the only way that would be the only way the movie would end. Everybody just hides from the TV, and then this guy just freaks out, just gets fully loaded, loads like a shotgun, has like a bag full of ammunition, got like all these guns, and he's just out there shooting every single TV screen, every single computer monitor out of frustration and rage. Occasionally we see the abducting trafficker pop up on screen with its fucking shit-eating grin as this guy just shoots the TV. I laugh because the scene is hilarious, but the context behind it is just sad and terrible. But it's still funny to think of just seeing this one man out there in the streets of New York, just shooting up every single TV monitor in the store. And everybody that like comes out of hiding sees him does that, and everybody follows the same thing, and they just break every single TV monitor, computer monitor, phone, and every bit of technology with a screen that allows for this thing to show itself to the world. Everybody just breaks it. At this point, there's no way you're getting your child back. There's no way you're going to be able to stop this entity from taking any more, unless you destroy all the TVs, and I guess in that case, yeah. They are gone for good. It's a bittersweet ending. Technology is destroyed. There's nothing left. There's no computer monitors, no TV, there's nothing. There's no media anymore. That's the way the movie would end. Everybody destroys every computer screen, TV screen, phone screen, everything. Because if you leave that shit be, it's just going to keep doing it. It's going to take more kids. It's going to take more, or it's going to affect more adults and force them to do things they don't want to do. That's just the only answer. Honestly, that would be a pretty good ending to a freaking horror movie involving that entity. Remove all technology. The only way that would work. At least anything with a screen on it, a monitor. So I guess in the end, yeah, there would be no TV monitors. We'd be back in an era where there was no games, video games, no TV shows. The only other form of entertainment we would have is radio. But without a TV or computer monitor, I don't know how the hell you're going to be able to do that. Yeah, that's the only way to end the abducting trafficker menace. So, yeah, you know what? We got an ending. We got horrible middle parts that just makes you fearful of, every child's life, not just your own. And we got a good end to it. I don't know how long it would be. 90 minutes? An hour? How long of a movie could you make involving something like that? Yeah, I'm not going to try to make a movie out of it. If somebody wants to, you can do it. Just make sure you let me know you're doing it. And, of course, split the profits. I am the one who made the entity, after all, and gave you the idea. I am the one who owns the entity. At least, I'm the one who created it, so of course I would own the rights to it. I should own the rights to it, but everybody will know. Everybody will know that I was the one who created this entity. Everybody will know that, while I don't regret it, because I've made entities that made several Earths go extinct. I guess it's just another notch on my belt of me making humanity in another universe suffer in some way, shape, or form. I am a tyrannical god. one who is willingly sacrificing the lives of many to be able to create these stories of horror and whatnot. So yeah. Anyways, they were talking about which one we'd make a horror movie out of. And I think we've kind of hit it out of the ballpark with the abducting trafficker. A terrible entity. And we have a movie idea. I don't have the abilities to make the movie. But maybe, I don't know if... I don't even know if I would want to go through with this. But hey, Markiplier, after you're done with Iron Lung, and you want to make the most saddest horror movie you will ever dare make? God, I don't even know. What would everyone's reaction be to that? I'm just curious to see what everyone's reaction would be. I would want to see that maybe get movied. That movie get made just to see what everyone's reaction on the internet would be. Obviously, nothing is shown. Everything is implied. Of course you can't show anything. Because then it would be in the same vein as Cuties. But that didn't show anything either. It just... well, no. It showed shit. But it didn't show the bad. The very bad. The bad of the bad. Because it is bad. I will not deny with y'all's there. That is, from what I've heard, and what I am not willing to see, bad. But this one's probably even worse. Because, well, yeah, of course it's fucking worse. But then again, manipulation? No, it is worse. What the abducting trafficker does is worse. You didn't think anybody would be able to top Cuties, but here I am, topping it. Making an entity that creates complete fear in the hearts of anybody, really, everybody. Actually, nobody is safe. Oh, animals are safe. Right, cat? The cat would just look at the screen, confused. Cat wouldn't know what the hell is going on. And nothing occurs because it's a cat. But, yeah. It has to be the worst. It has to be the worst kind of horror inflicted not only just children, but to everybody as well. I dare you to go out into the world to try to find a worse entity. Like, okay, I've made some entities that are pretty terrible. That are just not something you want to ever go near. But, just, let me be honest with you here. None of them compete to the kind of, like, dread, emotional trauma that the abducting trafficker gives you. Granted, yeah, the time linker is more of a, it's horrifying because you don't know how bad the pain is it gives you. And it's an eternity of... the hell was that? Rogue eye floater? Oh, yeah, definitely a rogue eye floater. Or maybe it was the mysterious entity gathering the energy from all of the horror that I've created. Possibly. Well, that would more so be the mysterious woman. The abducting trafficker would definitely be more so a, giving power to the mysterious woman. Mysterious entity is more out for bloodshed. But the mysterious woman is the one that gets power from sexual stuff. Yeah, she definitely would be the one getting power from that. She would be the one benefiting. Although I guess the mysterious entity would benefit from all the people committing suicide from doing the unspeakable. I mean, yeah, you're being forced to do this, and you're conscious through the whole thing. I don't know how strong-willed somebody is, or if you're already into that shit. And I say shit as in actual shit. Not as in that good shit. No. Actual terrible shit. No, yeah, if you're into that shit, you're probably not going to kill yourself. You're probably gonna sit in front of a TV screen all day hoping for the next one to show up. Ugh. Oh god, what if we had like a scene like that where just some freaking pedophile is just sitting in front of the TV hoping, praying for the amorphous blob man to give him his next ailing feeding. My neck is hurting from the complete and utter disgust that I've just felt. Ugh. Yeah, I know, that's the only, I feel like that would be the only kind of people who would want that entity to be in there. It's not good. The more and more I think about it, the more I think, well, I've changed my mind. At that point, I probably would rather get cut up by this thing than deal with that. Or, I don't know, maybe I can convince Bloodshed Fred to make me his apprentice, and then I can go on ahead and kill Hank Hill with him until we finally get the thing he needs. Sorry, Hank Hill, but it's either you or me, and I don't want to die, so... Hank, I'm going to stick this needle in you, because I don't want to die to Bloodshed Fred. Yep. No, probably would just get killed either way. In the end, there's no way I would have been able to avoid Bloodshed Fred, so you know what? I'll just die. I'll just die then. Literally, at that point, it's just a case of, well, what do you want to die from? Would you rather die from kind of deal. I just don't know. There's... all of the entities kill you in horrific ways. We're talking about grade A pristine death. Oh, there it is. I was wondering where the hell I was texturing it. Well, yeah. I guess we have at least... we've talked through it a bunch to now we got a movie idea that I am not going to make. If somebody wants to make it, by all means, take a crack at it. I'm pretty sure with a movie like that, if done right, will break the box office. Because everybody will just talk about it. It's the kind of movie that everybody is going to talk about because it's just so abhorrent. And yet, I don't know. I just don't know. I really don't know if this movie should ever see the light of day. It's bad enough the entity already exists, but to create a movie of its existence? Oh god, what if the movie got made and then the entity came to life. It's just like the collective being just seeing the movie and just watching the traumatic experience allow the entity to get created in our universe. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how the hell that would go. I guess just hide your children from TVs, until they grow up to a point where the abducting trafficker won't take them. I'm assuming that's how that works. I don't see why it wouldn't. Yeesh. And here I thought I've made worse entities before, but I never really fully put my mind to how terrible this entity is. It's terrible. I'm trying to steer the conversation to a different entity, but we all just keep going back to the abducting trafficker. Let me look at my list real quick. Emerging Mire is also a sad story. But none of these have like as large of an impact as that does, except for the head gobbler. But I'm not sure. The head gobbler is basically just this thing that runs around and consumes everything in sight. Once it gets big enough, it can start consuming bigger things, and it gets even bigger. And eventually, it consumes a planet. There's no way you can make a movie around that. Maybe you can. There's the Blight Cortex, but I had a Telltales-esque game of Fred and Barney in that universe. Which I guess, yeah, it could be like a movie, but it's like multiple choices you can make, exploring around and doing some stuff or some shit. Something around the lines of that. Systhive, Systhive is... It could be something. Like, okay, Systhive is essentially a hive that, as it gets bigger, starts to develop an effect to people around it. This effect has them develop cysts around their bodies. Eventually, if they stay within the range of the cyst hive for long, the cysts continue to grow until eventually the person dies off and their corpse becomes, part of, I guess, a zombie-esque cyst thing, whatever the hell it would be called. It creates the precursor to the cyst hive. And that precursor, simply put, is like a zombie, so to speak. Yeah, but that's just another zombie movie. Granted, it's zombies with cysts on them, trying to bring forth people to the cyst hive. I don't know. I'm not sure if that would be turned into any of a good of a movie. Pepper Choker. Not sure about that one. Smothering Terracotta would probably be an interesting movie idea. Essentially, just a bunch of floating clay balls. Hell, and animating it would be easy as hell, too. Because all you gotta do is just have floating clay balls. That's the monster. Hell, you can even have a scene in the movie where there's like, they go into this weird underground laboratory facility that these entities created, and you just like see a giant space filled with countless things. Humans, animals. There's a giant whale that has its head encompassed in a giant terracotta ball. And it's all just floating in the middle of this giant facility. Yeah. Yeah, that is, that's definitely something there. Can I find where I had did that, where I've done that? It was before that, so it was probably somewhere around here. And it was probably in the 30s, right? Creeping corpse. Am I hot or cold? Okay, I'm hot. I'm literally... here it is. Yeah, like this. Literally, it's just a ball. And that's the facility that they're in. Floating, lifeless, in this underground facility that's ginormous. If you, go over the edge, you just see a giant dark pit. Alongside, some faint lights that light up the area enough to where you can see the silhouettes of hanging animals and humans all over the place. Very surreal sight. So, I guess, yeah, your average alien-esque horror movie, despite the fact that it's not really an alien, more of an entity from a dimension, not dimension. I don't know what it would be, actually. It definitely can go to space, though. It's a universal entity, right? I only got 5, right? Yeah, it's a universal entity. Alongside the Pixel Screamer, the Head Gobbler, the Cyst-Hive, and the Hideous Hider. These are entities that can go throughout the entire universe. So if it's done with Earth, it's going to go over to another planet like Zenith or some shish. And it's going to take over what other intelligent life form, or any life form really, and just have their heads hanging in the facility, underground. Lifeless corpses hanging in the air. It's like if it grabs a hold of somebody's arm, it's lifeless, but when it grabs a hold of their head, it's still able to move until it gets to the facility where it just remains sitting there for the rest of time. And maybe once it's like fully done its course, it like dries up. The corpse it has in it is deteriorated enough, and then it falls and destroys itself in the pit. Yeah, the Smothering Terracotta definitely is one of those. And the Pixel Screamer, actually. I don't know what kind of horror that would be, though. Because the Pixel Screamer is kind of a, what's the word I'm looking for? It's another outer space thing. It came in a meteorite. It landed, it created a giant pixelized explosion that caused everything in the area to have its, body be covered in mouths. Matter of fact, am I close to being able to bring... Yeah, it's basically just right next to this. Probably a folder over, really. Yeah. Basically just turns everything into this. Every inanimate object, even the grass over here. See the red grass? That's indicative of the Pixel Screamer, screaming here. And this was my freaking enemy from long ago. Looks like that guy from Toy Story, doesn't it? Well, if you wanted to see that guy from Toy Story get myrtleized, well, there you go. Well, maybe, I don't even know if he's actually dead. Pixel Screamer blasts a giant hole in your face with sharp, jagged teeth, and occasionally lets out a silent scream that turns the entire area surrounding it into a pixeled mess. Anything that makes noise causes the pixel screamers to implode onto where that noise source is, causing another mouth to be made. That's another pretty interesting horror movie. Entire area gets pixelated. God, just imagine. And it's not even like blurry pixels. It's like everything looks like, I don't know how many pixels it is. Maybe like 32 bits, 8-bit, 16-bit. However many bits it is. And you just see the people inside of it losing their minds as they're hyperventilating, and one of them is like, "Don't scream. Don't scream. Don't do it." He's silently saying, as he's trying not to raise his voice to anger the Pixel Screamers or agitate them enough to explode. And then she just screams in like a broken, like distorted kind of a scream, stuttering, until her body freezes there as a mouth is shown where her face used to be. Yep. And then, of course, in order to combat something like that, you would need to have soundproof areas. So, I think the movie would eventually end up in like a dome, a soundproof dome, where basically everybody is trying to survive, but everybody's at each other's throats, and maybe something occurs where the Pixel Screamer, or something occurs in the facility where an area is opened up for the Pixel Screamer to essentially just seep in and start causing more areas to be infected by it, until eventually, panic ensues as the facility gets overrun by the Pixel Screamer. All the little minute noises made and all the people screaming because of, not realizing that they're in danger immediately, turning into the more Pixel Screamers. And yeah. And what's worse is you can't even cut or destroy the thing the pixel screamers are. Because if you do, a giant explosion lets out and everything in that radius gets blasted no matter what sound it makes. And it gets turned into another pixel screamer. Look, I've got some interesting entities that we can create movies out of. I don't know which one would be the most interesting one to make, though. I will say the abducting trafficker is definitely interesting in the psychological horror instance. Just seeing how everyone's reaction would be to something as vile and vulgar as that. No happy endings, just bitter ending as all of technology is just destroyed. Because that's the only way to stop it. Right, cat? Who's asleep still? I would say the only saving grace to that monstrosity is the fact that cats and animals aren't affected by it. Even so, I don't think you guys would even care that much. You would just think, oh, instinct calls, here I go. Which is sad to say because I'm not I don't know if that's the case, but I'm pretty sure there might be most animals in the animal kingdom that are like that. I would like to think highly of these animals, but let's not forget it's the law of nature out there. There isn't really a rule stating that these animals can't do anything with creatures that are not of their age, which is sad to think. It really is sad to think. But they're animals. They're not smart. They don't really have the same intellectual development as we have. Their intelligence are like on the levels of street smarts. Or, I guess, jungle smarts, or nature smarts. But their main prerogative is to eat, survive, bang, continue the next generation, and then probably die because the cycle of life continues and does its thing. Everything dies in nature. That's how that goes. So I'm pretty sure the animals don't have that same thought process as we do. And thank the cats that we've gotten to that point in our life. But also, it still doesn't change anything because there are still people out there who are actively trying to find stuff like that. And actively making stuff like that, too. There are some people that prefer to make children characters instead of adult characters, or at least young adults. If you really want to go down that route, at least make them 18. That's the lowest you can really go. The lowest you should go. Burp. There's a burp stuck. But yeah, no, it is apparently... there we go. It is apparently what it is. But it shouldn't be, it is what it is. It really shouldn't. It really shouldn't. Makes you wonder, why the hell is this thought process in our heads? Why? Why, in any form of human being, is that thought process in anybody's head whatsoever? Why is that allowed in anybody's heads? What reason does it give? Actually, that's a good fucking question. How the hell... Okay. Here comes me ignorance, because I don't know how the hell it would occur. But how the hell did pedophilia become a thing? Why does it exist? How does it exist? If we're thinking about the rules of nature, you would think, okay, our objective is to eat, sleep, survive, and bang to continue the next generation. But children do not possess any abilities to continue the next generation until they become adults. So riddle me this. How the fuck did humanity go down that evolutionary path for some people? How did that happen? Because nothing's going to occur there. The only reason that they would do that is just sexual pleasure. There's no other reason. Although, I guess, granted, wasn't there like... Okay, I'm trying to remember something from long ago. Wasn't there like a show called 14 and Pregnant or some shit? I'm gonna look this up. 14... It's not... Okay, good. Or was it... Okay, I don't want to even look that up. But there was a show like that. I can't remember exactly what the name was. It's like one of those trash reality TV shows, I think. Never watched it. I think I've only ever really heard of it on the internet. Don't exactly know how the hell would anybody be able to get... That's a good question. If I'm remembering the show correctly, how the hell did they get away with filming that? I mean, alright, the deed was already done, you're already pregnant, you know what, why don't we milk this and get a reaction out of people? People are going to click on it, it's going to be like, what? No, there's no way. And then they look at it and they're like, what? I gotta watch to see how the hell this happened. It's the only other thing I can think of. Well, then again, TV was more of a Wild West landscape at the time. Shows like Courage the Cowardly Dog, Ren and Stimpy. I can't remember any other children's shows that were meant for children, but didn't really have children vibes. I miss the old days of the children's shows that showed a lot of adult stuff. You know what they need to do? More of that. I don't even know if those were considered children's shows. I think they were... Wait, what the hell? Oh, that's... Right, I was looking at this and I was wondering why it is... Yeah, never mind. But yeah, the question I was asking before is how the hell did certain people evolve to that? How did it happen? Why is it happening? Why are we plagued to deal with that? Whether it be you are somebody who is into that or somebody who's not into that but have to deal with people who are into that because you are still plagued by them. Why are we plagued with that? And more so when it comes to certain shows like Total Drama-Rama. You've seen that nonsense. I've seen it on Twitter. Man, am I glad I had the OG. Because that... Yeah. There was no comedy there. There was no comedy there at all. It really does make you question, how the hell did some people evolve to have those interests? I don't know, and I wish it didn't exist. Really wish it didn't exist. I'm just gonna draw this man getting cut up. This man's getting cut up, turned into mincemeat. Don't know what else he's gonna turn into, all I know he's gonna die. This man is dying today. I'm tired as fuck, hooray. Where else is there that I missed? I think I missed the whole bunch. Well, there's the eye, but I gotta switch. Can you guess what song I'm trying to fucking sing for some stupid reason? An old game that I kind of want to play a remake of. Because I did play it to completion during, like, PlayStation Now, but... Oh boy, PlayStation Now as a service sucks. Long ago I played the original Resident Evil 4 and beat that. I barely remember any of that, and I have played the remake. Although the remake is more of a fresh experience. I knew I was forgetting something. But yeah, PlayStation Now was terrible. Can you imagine trying to control a game that's like that? Especially with the goddamn aiming system that was Resident Evil 4. It was awful, but I somehow managed in the end. It was so awful that I purged most of the memories out of my head. I don't even recall if I beat it before. Because I remember when I was young, and I think I kind of stopped at the Giganto fight, whatever the hell that giant guy's name was. And I didn't continue after that, for some reason. Whether it was out of fear or something, I have no clue. Now me, well, me now, the current me, I've become the monster in the horror games. I am become the monster. So now I'm just like, alright, get the hell over here. Past me was like scared to see what the hell happens to the person who, when you get a game over. Current me feels unending rage and wants to go in there physically, rip the chainsaw or the machete or the tentacles or whatever the fuck is, did the deed, and then just tear them apart limb from limb. Go Kratos style on them. OG Kratos, not Dad of War Kratos. And then just fucking do what this thing is doing to them. Try to make them still stay alive so they can suffer and be in pain. I finished up Resident Evil 4 Remake and I went into hardcore mode. Trying to go through the goddamn village. Stupid dumbass fucker just grabbed villain Leon and he got chainsawed. And I got so angry. I'm like, fuck this, that's it. I started killing everybody. And then as soon as the chainsaw guy came out, I'm like, alright, you're fucking dead now. And I just shoot him. Just focus shooting. Run away from all the other fodder douchebags and kept shooting his ass until I got that emerald. Ooh, what I wouldn't do to just cut his arms off, pick this chainsaw up, and just... Wait, I got the perfect drawing for this. Where is it? Not that one. Not that. No. Wait, am I hot or cold? Hot or cold? Cold? Hot? Cold. Very cold. 23. Hold on. I'm gonna show you what I would do to this thing. Where is it? Wait, hot or cold? Oh, I'm hot. Is it in this one? It's gotta be in 23. Or 24. 24? 25? Not 25, 26. Where the fuck is this entity? Ah, there it is. That's what I would do to it. Cut him in half. And then rip his skin off. And then more skin. And then more skin. And then pull his eyeballs out. And even take the bag off, tear off the flesh from his head, and show the skull. That's what I would do to that fucker. The Lost Ploggers would see me going apeshit, and then they would be like, oh god, avoid this thing. This fucking Amish piece of shit over here with his cheap bullshit. Oh, and I got my hands on him. Oh, I wish I could have torn his actual eye out. Yeah, no, young me would be terrified. Current me, I'm the monster now. I am the one who knocks. Am I missing anything? I think I got most of this. Case in point, I created a monster that killed these two innocent people. Oh, then I also have a person who can kill this thing. Joshua. Or was his name... Not Joshua. Was it? The fuck was his name again? Was it Joshua? Jericho. That's what it was. Never mind, not Joshua. Jericho. Not Jake's father / mother. If you know what I mean, you know what I mean. Well, I mean, technically, I don't think there was a mother in that, but you know what I mean. As I've stated several times before. Yes, of course. And it is. There's one thing that was annoying about one horror game. Not being able to murder the ever-living shit out of the alien in Alien Isolation. I just wish I could have murdered it. I don't care if it's invincible. I will find a way to murder it. That's what I would have liked to have done. Frickin' tries to goddamn pierce Ripley's heart. Here I go with the Doom-style execution where he just tries to take the thing, rip it right off, and then shove it in there. I obviously have my Doom armor on, so I don't get affected by the acid. Then I go over to an explosive barrel, because my health is probably low, punch it, get health, and maybe some ammunition back, if I remembered correctly. And then just get the killing some more. Yeah. That's what I would have liked to have done. Modded Doom guy into Alien Isolation and then just perform a finisher on Alien. Although if that were the case, then the alien would have been dead, and now at that point I'm just murdering a bunch of robots and humans and thugs and whatnot. Well, I can tell you one thing for certain. If a Doom guy was up against aliens, there's no way they'd survive. They would not survive at all. If he has his abilities from Eternal, any explosions that occurs towards him, health. He gets healed by explosions. He gets more ammunition from explosions somehow. Alongside that, he has armor on, so he'd probably be able to survive most of the acid bath. I mean, let's be real here. Doom guy has basically went through hell and back. Survived the hellish depths of hell. Pretty sure he can handle a little bit of acid. There's no way in hell he wouldn't be able to. Doom guy claps. Earth is saved again. Wonder if you would put Duke Nukem in that then, actually. Isn't Duke Nukem mostly about mutant aliens or something? I feel like Duke Nukem would survive. He takes so many hits, the only reason he's alive during most of his encounters is because he has ego. And the only reason he dies is because his ego drops to low, and he's like, my ego! Oh god, I can't believe my ego! All of that pain I've brushed off, it's now real, and now it's hurting. And if the ego doesn't go up, he just experiences death. He's so goddamn egotistical that he doesn't feel the pain until he gets hit too many times, and he's like, I can now feel the pain, and I'm now about to die. But no, I feel like Duke would probably also clap the alien's ass. Hell, knowing Duke Nukem, he would probably fuck the Queen. There would be some strange sex scene with Duke Nukem and the alien Queen, and it would just be weird. Ugh. Not the most weirdest thing I fucked. Or, not the most weirdest thing I stuck my dick in. It's just freaking Duke is over here just trying to match the Queen's goddamn rhythm. And he goes when he climaxes when she... Oh, keep scratching that. Damn it. I looked at her at the wrong time. I thought she was scratching a wall, but she was scratching a scratching post. Now she thinks she scratched the wrong thing. You did good. That's good. You understand positive reinforcements? Anyways, and Duke tries to match the Queen's climax, and as he does his thing, there's like this intense burning in his dick, and he's like, ah! But he still doesn't die somehow. And then he's just like laying in bed, freaking dick like half disintegrated. He has a big cigar. And he's like, "Yeah, works every time." Oh. I don't fucking know. It's just funny to think. Duke would be the kind of person who would do that. Or maybe he wouldn't. Who knows? Maybe the alien queen would use that to her advantage and be like, this is the perfect way to kill this man. And then there goes Duke. Maybe he wouldn't die. I say that's really the only downside Duke has. If anything has a vagina, you know I'm gonna stick my dick in it. OG Duke. Duplicate Dukes, they're different. They're special. The duplicate Dukes are special. I did not want to go that far out. I mean, yeah, they're not the same Duke. They're more like children. They have a childish sense of humor. But yep, that's... How the hell did we get to this thing again? What was I talking about before that led us to Duke Nukem fucking aliens? Prior we were talking about Doom Guy. Oh, my anger and rage towards video games now instead of... Or horror video games now. Instead of, what do you call it? The fear that I had when I was a kid. Yes, sirree. Mm-hmm. Well, I guess that's what happens when you've grown pessimistic and, you know, resentful towards most things. I haven't really shed a tear ever since my old cat passed away. But, outside of that, I haven't really experienced any, sadness. Which is good, I guess. Not good to be sad all the time. Not good to be angry either. I'll be Benson out here, balling up my raid and my gumballs turning into nuclear stars as I'm about to suck the entire park into my goddamn being. Not good to bottle up anger too, but I don't know how to release that helpfully. Maybe punch shit. I don't know if that helped. Oh, either way, it is what it is. We all have our own instances. I have rage. I don't know how well I would do in a fight, though. I feel like I might accidentally kill somebody because of all that rage. So I hope that it doesn't bottle up. I really do. I mean, at least with this, it's slightly less, you know, rage-inducing. Gives me some, what do you call it, to work with. What the hell? You got a fudge in your whisker. There we go. Fudge in her whisker. Where'd you get fudge in your whisker? Where'd you stick your nose? Don't give me that look. No, just a whir. Alright, good enough, I guess. Okay, yay. Oh, yes, all that blood. There's probably going to be a lot. I really do hope that I can find a good way to do blood. Because a blood stain, it works for what I need to use it with, but I feel like I could do better somehow. I just don't know. I'm not sure. Well, I guess blood squirts from the thing. Makes sense. All of this is happening very fast, so all of this blood that's coming out by the gallons. You ever wonder how the hell there's like all like a gallon's worth of blood found in certain horror things? Well, now you see it. at least in this universe, you know exactly what happened for all this blood to be here. And also, most of it comes from this thing's backside, leaving a trail of it. Where do I get? Here, of course. Blood? God, I pressed Control B again. I blew up another public building. Damn it. Don't you hate it when that happens, when you accidentally blow up a building? Ugh. If you don't understand the reference, long ago I made a meme joke about every time you accidentally press Control B when you meant to press Control V, you blow up a building. I don't know why I said public, like public, but yeah. That's what happens. And all this blood on the ground. Most of it from the entity, of course. My freaking thumb. My goddamn hand is near a radiation vent. A vent. Keep putting my hand too close to the damn vent here. Thumb got a little singed. Not singed. Just slightly toasted. Wait a minute. That's not right. It's running right now, so all the intestines and blood is flowing all around. Boop. Boop the snoot. Okay, there's still more that needs to be done here. Like, for instance, blood. Whoops. Blood on the eye. Or around the eye. I mean, if you're cutting up a crap ton of people, you're probably going to have a crap ton of blood on your face. And put up above the eyebrow. This is what you would see. A whole lot of blood. You don't want to be near this thing. You're going to die if you are. There's going to be blood on this thing's body. H. Granted, I don't know if it's worth what's occurring, unless, like, one video phone call that some employee made shouting to people to get back to work despite the fact that this person had a heart attack and died on the floor, the factory floor. Think about Amazon. I'd imagine maybe, probably something around the lines of this child just fell into the wood chipper, but this selfish, greedy manager just shouts everybody to get back to work, and, body was definitely not put to rest at that point. Doll's just lying there. Doll's tossed in the depths of the construction area. And now the child is angry and is turned into this entity. Using the anger that the mysterious entity is, amassed. The child then turns into this thing. Well, at the very least, it uses its doll as parts to be able to turn into this monstrosity, which then what little remains of the corpse is left put together somewhat, so to speak, to create this thing. It's not a good time. It's very shitty, Shitty manager who isn't gonna, put anybody's mind at ease about what happened. I mean, what can you do? Shut down the factory is what you'll do. You can't run it anymore. Somebody died here. Somebody died. And you're still running it? And you're treating the belongings of this child like crap? At that point, I'd say you deserve it. Or maybe you'll just send somebody down there to do the job instead, and you'll never get recompense or something. Blood red. Blood red. All the blood stained on this doll as it's killed and slaughtered countless humans. Makes you question, would you be able to outrun a giant doll like this? Because it's huge. It's big enough to fit inside of a tunnel 3 times your size. Yeah. Anywho's and what's, and get some more of this in here. I want to try to get some rust on some of these tools, so we're not fully done yet. Rust on the tools, rust on the outfit of the doll. That makes you wonder what the hell happened. Maybe the child fell in feet first, and nobody was able to stop the thing in time. So it ended up cutting up to her stomach, and then that's basically was all just it. That was basically all that there was. It's kind of a terrible idea. Take your child to work day around freaking machinery? You kidding me? Dumb idea. Whose idea was that? Probably some old dumbass who's trying to make working in this place sound fun at an early age so that when they graduate high school, this is where they go. It just ended up in that child's death. Maybe that's what's happening in the background, but if I can't remember to put the backstory in, then let's just say that it's a potential instance that could occur here. It's potential. Whether or not I'll be able to do that, no, it's just dependent on if I can remember. Saw blades. Although you gotta wonder why the hell this, why the hell this child has turned into this monstrosity. There's reasons behind it. What are those reasons? I don't know. But it happened. And I guess the people who let it happen are just going to have to deal with it. The consequences of their actions. Their inability to see the outcome of the stupidity that is bring your daughter to work day or child to work day to such a place like this. At no fault of, well, no, I guess the employee is kind of still at fault because, I mean, you're stupid enough to bring, I don't know how old the child would be, but definitely not old enough to be in a place like this. Are you kidding me? So, yeah, no, your own stupidity led to this. Not only led to your child being killed, but also led to her soul becoming this. Her favorite doll, messed up, muddled, and turned into this monstrosity of saw blades and metal and shrapnel and whatnot. That's out there murdering all the workers, the construction workers, in these tunnels. Hell, maybe she's building freaking playgrounds or something. Maybe that's why it's a construction playground. Maybe it's because she uses this form to try to have some semblance of whatever childhood she'd even have left. Whatever her childhood was before she got, a half-off discount. Ugh. Maybe that's why she's building freaking, what do you call it here? And using this monstrosity to do so. The lesson here to learn is don't bring your kids to work when your work consists of heavy machinery. That's the dumbest decision anybody could ever make in their entire lives. I'm just letting you know this right now. You can't get any dumber. The dumbacity is too high with that one. Try to go any higher and you'll implode the entire universe. Trust me, it happened once before. I've seen it multiple times throughout my lifetimes. 11 times, as a matter of fact. Anybody trying to outdumb the dumb somehow managed to create a ripple effect causing the entire universe to implode in on itself. We have to get Carl Sagan to reset the universe. And he's not happy. Every time he has to reset the universe, he had the universe perfect on multiple occasions. Until somebody decided to be stupid. The pie was crumbly, I guess. Makes sense because whoever did this, whoever did the stupidity, turned themselves into crumbly mess of whatevers. So yes, there you go. Don't be the stupid. Don't bring your child to this facility. Man, this entire episode is just all about children and unfortunate events. Which I guess makes sense, considering the fact that this is a doll of a child who died in this factory. Not factory. But at least died in a construction area and is now killing adults out of rage and frustrations to what happened. It's just a very sad and horrifying and traumatic episode. The most traumatic episode we've ever had. But I guess it makes sense. This is Reginald's Macabre Cases. 2.5 hours of trauma. 2.5 hours of seeing this freaking monstrosity. Now, if there's any other thing that I would make here, it would probably be rust. Let me go to the head. I'm going to make rust. Rusty Shackleford. Actually, wait, there's a better way for me to make the rust here. Where's rust? That's not where rust is. I need rust. Go up. Past nature, of course. There's my rust. Okay, rust. Wait, it probably needs to be a little bit more orangish. Orangish? Is rust. Sad to think what happened. You could have prevented this if you just weren't so stupid. I don't know who in my dreams allowed for this to occur. I was just the bandicoot trying to run away from a monster. Trying to turn me into bandicoot cutlets. I don't know what pork equivalent of bandicoot is. I mean, you got cow, steak, steak, hamburger, pig, pork, chicken, poultry. I guess I actually don't really know what the hell the bandicoot would be. Okay, this rust ain't showing as much as I thought it would be showing. I'm still gonna say this is rust though. Rust. Okay. Yay. Time for the background. I don't think the background is going to be that complex. I'm going to go over to the background over here. There's going to be a construction area, a tunnel, so to speak. Kind of like this, somewhat so to speak. Up here, over here. I don't know where the hell this is. There we go. Yeah, I believe that's what it was. construction area. Got like platform up here, dirt and whatnot. Probably going to be some pipes or something. That's behind it. This will be above it. I guess most of that. I don't know, it doesn't matter. Because I can at least see where that is. And how that's going to be. I don't know where the hell this thing is going to go, actually, now that I think about it. Well, all I know is that this has to match that if that's going to be above. So, do that. Go here. Do this. I don't think they would have been safe if they went up here. I don't know how the hell they would have been safe. I don't even know what the hell they would have needed to do to evade this thing. Run faster? I mean, it's a giant porcelain doll that's crawling faster than most people can run. And it's got long saw blade tendrils looking to massacre anybody that gets in the way of its blades. Unless you can find like a door and it's unlocked. A door that's supposed to be unlocked, but some idiot locked it. But just because a door that's supposed to always remain unlocked, and some idiot's like, alright, that's done here, now it's time to lock this up, despite the fact that you were told to leave it unlocked, because you gotta go in there multiple times, and it's not like anybody can get down here anyways without a key, so there's no point in locking it. And because you locked it, this guy got killed. But these guys were running on a path, so they didn't get killed. But somebody got killed because somebody locked the door. I don't know who. Somebody did. Don't know who, but I can imagine it's like the freaking boss, and it's like, God damn it! I told them not to lock this! Ah! This is getting fucking cut up into pieces. Door covered in blood. All you had to do was leave the door unlocked. And then that guy would have lived. And he had ample time. He had like a few seconds before the thing caught up to him and ripped him up. He could have opened it in time, quickly shut the door, and run as far away as possible. But nope. You just had to lock it. You just had to kill him. Listen to your instructions. I mean, it's unlikely that something like this would ever happen IRL, but if there's a possibility, for the love of God, for the love of the cats, listen. Because you may never know if this thing is going to show up and murder you and all of your co-workers. Because it's got a grudge against anybody who's in work, construction work. Or at least anybody who it sees. Because I imagine it's not partial. It's just using this area as its resting place because, there's nothing else it could do. I would imagine that maybe like the trauma, suffering that occurs probably brought forth the mysterious entity to, convert the child's soul into this monstrosity. There has been a few occasions of the mysterious entity manipulating souls of people who have died horribly. For instance, I don't even remember where it was. Oh, here it is, 31. This guy right here was once a fireman who was saving people from a burning building. But then he got catapulted into the ceiling, where his head popped up into the second floor where there was a bunch of fire. And his entire body got burned. He didn't die immediately, but his face was completely disfigured and singed off. His body, fleshy, cooked, yet he was somehow still alive. And then after some time, the trauma and the anger and rage build up from what just occurred. And then the mysterious entity most likely used this opportunity to convert him into the face eraser, where he's able to contort his entire body as big as the face is, the mask is, and just erase people's face. It's not a case of them dying immediately. You get your face erased, and guess what? Suffocation time. I don't know which worse. The original one of that one, you know, the purple face thing, the one that PewDiePie did long ago, or suffocating to death slowly but surely. Well, now you get turned into one of those purple-faced things. But you get suffocated. I remember that thing. I wonder if they did anything more with that creation. Or was it like a one-off creation like most of the entities that I've created? I forgot what it did. It'd like grab its hands on someone and convert them into it. I don't know how it did that, actually. It's an interesting entity, to say the least. I'm calling it an entity, even though it's probably a demon or an Oni. That's probably what it was called, actually. Purple Head Man. I don't know. A Purple Head Oni game? Yeah, the Oni. Hey, Oni. Wait, Markiplier played that? Man, that's 2013 mark right over there. I don't know what this thing was, but it definitely is an entity of some form. The head gobbler can eat that thing up no problem. Don't you worry. Actually, what's worse, the head gobbler or the AO Oni? The head gobbler has the capability of consuming the entire planet once it's consumed enough things. The AO Oni, or the Oni, I don't know, actually. It's been a while and I don't remember. But can the Oni consume an entire planet? I think not. I mean, most of the entities I've made are so goddamn world-endingly terrifying. I'm pretty sure any other horror bad guy up against any of my creations probably are in for a treat. They're in for a challenge, to say the least. Hell, even if they could convert the head gobbler, I'm pretty sure its main derogatory directive, or whatever the fuck the word is consume. Its natural instincts to consume will have it consume. The only difference it'll have is a purple head. They successfully convert him into them, but all that serves to do is just turn his entire body purple as it just consumes them. Or it consumes more of the things around it, then gets big enough to consume them. And now they're dead, and he's purple. Why he Orpal, though? Because these demons thought that they could convert this thing to their side, and all they did was just make him purple. They can't satiate the hunger of this entity. This entity is how you say ferocious. That's the word I'm looking for. No, but seriously, I don't know. I mean, okay. I was thinking about another one, but aliens versus the smothering terracotta. First of all, the smothering terracotta literally just has to go into contact with the aliens and just, well, if they hit the aliens' heads, first of all, they're going to be confused as fuck as to what the hell's happening. Chances are they might purposely cut themselves to spill their acidic blood on the terracotta to remove it. At least to stop weighing them down. But there's no way the aliens are surviving smothering terracotta invasion. As soon as a smothering terracotta gets onto their heads, that's it. Fucking facehuggers can't even do anything. As soon as this facehugger goes inside of the smothering terracotta, it's just going to be like, as it goes back to its little home. You just see like a tail and some limbs sticking out of a ball. Just imagine the limp limbs and a limp tail as a floating hard ball of terracotta floats by. There's literally no way. I mean, if you have fire, maybe you can, like, turn it into terracotta. Smelting clay with intense heat, yeah, you probably would be able to beat it that way. But acid probably wouldn't work. Does acid have any effect on clay? See, we're taking a being of aliens and comparing it to a sentient inanimate object capable of merging its atoms with anything it touches. Anything. If it somehow manages to collide into a wall because it misses something, that's it. It's now a part of the wall. Once it's found something to connect to, if it has a brain, it can move. But if it doesn't have a brain inside of it, I should say, it still can't move. I would say that's more a case of it's trying to find the brains in order to stockpile a bunch of corpses. Why is it stockpiling a bunch of corpses? I made the thing, but I never really stopped to try to figure out why exactly it's stockpiling all the corpses of creatures that it's abducted and hung inside of its facility. Good question. Good question indeed. I don't know. Alright, this is a broken light. That's what that is. It's not a lot being shown, so I don't have to put too much effort into making this, but, well, I mean, it's still kind of where it needs to be. Because the only reason I really had head gobblers compared to the Oni is because they're both heads. Their main focus is their heads. They got big heads. Thing is, can the Oni get bigger the more it consumes? If not, it's got its number beat. Head Gobbler would eat just about anything. Well, like I said, it'll eat a planet. It'd eat the sun if it got big enough to eat it. Granted, as soon as it eats the planet, it's just going to float in space trying to, have its body go to the nearest rock. But it'll probably just, well, here's a planet, and it's and it just floats there. It's still breathing, despite the fact that there's no air. But, yeah. I gotta say that, okay, I don't want 3, I want 2 instead. I just gotta... Actually, yeah, why the hell am I not making this thicker? No, thicker. There we go. Right. I think I'm almost done with the background. I'm probably gonna just put some random pipes somewhere. Oh yeah, what about that, here's another oldie. Corpse Party. Which one of my entities would make quick work of the ghosts here, eh? Well, if you put the head gobbler in there again, it's just going to consume the entire realm that the school is in. Once it gets big enough to be able to consume enough to break through things, there's no way it's going to last. It's going to break through, and whatever realm it's in, whatever ghostly realm it's in, it's going to have a fucking buffet. It might not be a fulfilling buffet, assuming you can eat ghosts or spirits or whatever. But it's going to have a buffet. I don't think they'd be able to deal with that thing as easily. Put a mark on it, it don't care, it just eats. I don't even think it feels pain. If it can eat the sun, it probably won't feel pain. They're probably going to try to carve into the head gobbler. The head gobbler's going to be like, oh, and just that, but lower pitch, like, it's like Bill eating noise, except it's more, and it sounds like it has like something constantly lost in his throat as like that or something. I don't know if that came out as right as it made it sound on the, what do you call it, but yeah. They could try all they want. These beings can try all they want. Nothing can stop the head gobbler's consumption of their beings and whatnot. Well, no, the head gobbler... the head gobbler would consume all the aliens. It deatomizes everything it consumes, and it uses those atoms to add to its growth. So it can eat the aliens, and the acid won't do shit, because the acid's going to get deatomized and added to its being. Hell, it might even give it acid powers or some shit, assuming that whatever it deatomizes and whatever property the atoms have, like, being added to its body allows for it to use that power. Hard to say, really. Okay, I think that's behind that, so I don't really need to worry about that too much. Yeah, that head gobbler do be OP. Ugh. Okay, I think that's all there is of this. Wait a minute. Wait, don't I already have the Lacerating Doll here? Ah, I do. Perfect. You gotta remember, these entities kind of are, they're also quote-unquote paranormal-esque beings. Some of them with some supernatural abilities to do things far beyond most beings' comprehension. I don't think the gruesome splinter, whatever the fuck that thing was called. Back out. I don't think the gruesome splinter would be able to really do much of anything inside of that school. The course party school. Well, maybe it could. If there's any organic beings in there, anything that gets stuck by that thing's needle, by that thing's sharp pieces of wood, splinter, is going to get turned into one of it. And when that happens, I don't know. Plus, you gotta remember, they're made of wood. They're not organic. I don't even know if they have souls. I think they're just inanimate pieces of wood. Okay, wait, hold on. This is supposed to be beneath that, and that's supposed to be above that. What are you doing? They're just inanimate pieces of wood whose instinct is to look around for organic beings to convert into more of its kind. They're animalistic, in a sense. I'm pretty sure the spirits have no reason to try to even deal with that thing. They would probably be like, alright, well, we can't fight this thing. Wait a minute. Oh, whoops. Well, and I'll do this instead. I'll have this here and then have this on the bottom. Yep, we're talking about grade A pointlessness. What reason did you have to bring this entity inside of your domain? Whatever ghost resides here? This entity is not really something you can do anything with. It has no feelings, it has no thoughts. All it knows is convert. Fine organic being, convert. But, yeah. Wonder if that's what I want. Concrete walls. Maybe some chips here and there. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see in a minute. Alright, now for the next set of... Whoa, fuck. Wah, fuck. I'd say, okay. Let's try to use a different set of creatures. Necromorphs. Would necromorphs be able to beat this thing? Probably not. I mean, it's made out of metal, first of all. Second of all, it has a bunch of things that can cut necromorphs up. And it does delimb. Look, it delimbs far beyond reason, too. I guess, sure, maybe the enough body parts can probably immobilize this thing. But I feel like with something like this, it could probably just use its saws to cut it off and continue killing more things. Granted, is it going to be in a construction site? Because if necromorphs can get into a construction site area, then they're probably going to get completely destroyed. Let's not forget, they were able to take over an entire ship made out of metal. But this is not the same as a static object. This is different. This is a... Okay. First of all, that pipe's not even on the floor. Second of all, wrong color. Oh, it probably should be more... Yeah, like that. At least this pipe. Unless I want it to be brown. Nah, we'll have the top one be reddish brown. Okay, hold on. Where am I? Beneath? No problem. That is a good question. There's no doubt that the Lacerating Doll would be able to successfully tear apart necromorphs like it's nobody's business. It would be able to do that. There's no reason in thinking it can't do that. It literally has chainsaws, regular saw, steak knife saw, drill, even though drill's not going to do much except pierce them, but it's got a drill. It is a walking or crawling, cutting, necromorph killing machine that also just so happens to kill humans. God damn it. This being, it makes sense that they have no match to it, against it. No, like, at least no normal thoughts to be affected by the marker. The only thought this thing has is kill. That's the only thought it has. Kill. Kill whatever it sees. And I'm sure if it were to see a necromorph, it wouldn't change its derogative. Kill this thing. Looks humanoid enough. Kill it. It's trying to trick you. Kill it. And of course, well, even if they could grab onto it, a lot of chains and saws to cut up this, the tendrils. It's grabbed Isaac multiple times for some freaking reason. So, yeah, I've no doubt that this thing could definitely myrtleize a flock of necromorphs. I just don't exactly know if there is any way for them to be able to fight against this. Like, you know, with what I said before. Trying to take over the metal with the organic bits. But that's the thing. Would that still work? It's not really man-made. It's what's the word? A supernatural being. Porcelain metal. Stands to reason that if this were to ever get damaged for some reason or another, it would probably be able to repair itself after some time. That's a hard battle to try to call. Head Gobbler, no doubt. Necromorphs don't have a chance against that thing. Nothing really has a chance against that thing. Head Gobblers consume. Necromorphs try to use a marker. Head Gobbler don't care. Consume marker. Deanimize it. Hell, if we're using the Xenomorph acid theory, it would probably have the same effects as a marker. A walking, consuming marker that would just consume the Necromorphs and continue forward. But like I said, if it consumes an entire planet, it doesn't turn into a planet. I didn't say that. Like I said, it can consume a planet, but it doesn't turn into an entire planet. Would probably be the more proper saying there. Ceiling number 1. But yeah, I don't really think there's anything that can beat a Head Gobbler. At the very least, you know, outside of like main character animes and stuff and whatnot. Would it be able to eat fire? Probably. Probably not. Guns would probably just be absorbed into it or something. I don't know. Head Gobbler is definitely one of those kinds of entities that don't exactly have too many weaknesses. It was just made as a thing that just consumed. And it wasn't really much thought put into it outside of just straight up consuming shit. Alright, this is a broken light, if you're wondering why it looks like that. It's because it's broken. The only light we've got is light above us right here, but we won't see that just yet. God damn it. There we go. That's a little bit too dark. Have it like this. There we go. And I got all this intestines and stuff coming off to the side. And there's most likely like a trail over here. If I can showcase it, because this is just basically just claws and whatnot. There's a trail of intestines here. Because I wasn't sure how the hell I was going to do this before, so I didn't really want to bother trying to draw that just yet. There's a trail of intestines. Not going to be a part of the this thing, but it is going to be a part of the background here. Think of it similar to the baby from Resident Evil 8. You know, the one in that puppet lady's house. Which, if you don't count the parasite that she's got, like if you gave her like a sick eye patch or something, she's pretty hot. Pretty adorable, cute. She's just lonely. And you know, you think she's like terrifying and you know, with the doll doing the thing, but in all actuality, it's just Ethan running around with a scissor. Be like, where is it? Where is it? He got the scissor. She runs away from him with her doll. You remember that drawing? It rings true because if you've played the game multiple playthroughs, you know where all the doll's spawning points are. You're like, okay, doll's going to be here. Nope, okay, it's going to be in this spot. So it's like he knows where you are, and he just has looks in a few spots, and then she's just like scared shitless trying to get out. But nope, don't work. Don't work like that. Yes, sirree. And that's a trail of intestines. I'm going to have to make a blood path there. Alright, here we go. Darkness all around. Yep. I don't know why, but it was a dirt path kind of thing. Damn it. Again, hands near the goddamn vent. And a lot of bits and pieces. Crumbs, I wonder where those went, huh? I wonder how we got crumbs up here, huh? Cat who flings food and gets it all over the place. I wonder how the hell crumbs got up on this mouse pad. Makes me wonder. Oh, I don't know. There's only like a few places I eat in this place, and it's either on my bed, on a table over there with cereal, or up there with cereal when I have to watch the dogs before I go to work. I wonder where those crumbs could have gone. Huh? Don't you sideways your right ear on me. Stop sideways your ear. Keep moving your ear. Why is that funny? You know I'm telling you to stop sideways in your ear. And she did it again. She did it just as I said it. You know what I mean? Sideways your ear if you do. Oh, now you're not sideways in your ear, huh? Nope, you just flicked your ear. Alright, after this, I gotta get all that blood all over the place. Bloodier than Mary, I think. I don't remember. Pig's Blood Girl. Remember her? Carrie? Was that it? She popped everybody's heads or something using psychic abilities? Who would have thought she was a guest star in Mob Psycho 100? Who would have thought she was an Esper? Was she an Esper? Wait, actually, that's a good question. Carrie. Novel. Is that it? What was it again? Carrie Pig's Big Blood. What was her name? Okay, good question. Is Carrie an Esper? Am I spelling that right? Espers? Category? Stephen King? Oh, I guess, yeah, she is an Esper. As a protagonist villain? Ah, well, it makes sense. The bullies bullied her and they got their comeuppance. They got their comeuppance. If Mob was there, they all probably wouldn't have died. And Sherry probably would have been added to the cast of Friends. For Carrie. Well, regardless of the fact that was a reality universe, not an anime universe. Man, could you imagine having psychic abilities IRL? What the hell would you even use it for? Like, would you just instinctively go out of your way to exorcise ghosts? Ghosts? Yes, exorcise ghosts. You know, if we're going down that south path, we're going to exercise some ghosts. We're going to exercise some ghosts over here. I ain't got no run good. Yeah, I was going to exercise some ghosts. I don't think he's ever said that before, but you know what? I'm just going to imagine he said ghosts. It's funny that that's who I'm thinking of. Luke. Ghosts. Say ghosts. Kill me. I don't know. I feel like I have like the perfect southern drawl to kind of replicate that feel. Sometimes I get that right. Sometimes I ain't got that right. I don't know why talking southern is so easy for me. Maybe it's because my English already broken half times that sometimes easy me just like not talk right. Literally just not talking right. Say ain'ts and put S's and like ghosts or some. Surely somebody out there has said ghosts before. Some southern person, probably in Orlando or maybe the far south side of Texas, probably had said ghosts once before. Other than where I am, obviously. But somebody else out there had to have said ghosts. And it's a crying shame that they're probably somebody who don't even have a YouTube channel, so we don't even get to hear them say ghosts. It's a ghosts right here. Don't even say the T, just say ghosts. Yep, just saying ghosts. Not an itch on my noses. Well, I didn't think that through. And it still ain't right. God damn it. The drawings are getting complex now that the loading is taking time. It's fine. Yep. Well, I guess I ain't gonna do that. It just, no. No, it's fine. It's fine. It doesn't bother me, and it's not bothering me. It bothers me. It bothers me a lot. I'm gonna fix it right now. I'm gonna fix this. Don't worry, I'm gonna fix this. You gotta be this. Man, I'm just like really hitting it out of the park with figuring out what the hell those things were in them shows. Total Recall, it was, what do you call it? Spoilers, I guess. Sleeper Agent. That was where I kind of landed down there when I saw that. Then now, just now with Carrie as an Esper. Psychic abilities. See, now they could have used their Esper ability to, I don't know, see her make stuff. Actually, yeah, does she make stuff fly around? Well, then again, if they was like that, then it would be a comedy. Well, it kind of makes sense. Espers and their emotions. So apparently, emotions is a really huge thing with Espers. Is that like a trope? Emotions and Espers causes like great, psychic powers to go berserk. Like jonkies. Like zonks and zoinks, in this case, it's jinkies and jonkies. What the hell would jeepers be? Well, I can tell you this one. Let's splat up, gang. Is probably another one. It's funny that that's the only catchphrase Fred has. Unless you count the Nominone song with that. Everybody's saying their catchphrase and just Fred out there singing. Yep. Man, we's going all over the place. But then again, there isn't really too much to talk about. I'm glad we went away from the, Okay, well, I was gonna say I'm glad we went away from the child devastation, but we talked about Carrie. And that's teenage devastation, but that still counts. That still counts. And it ain't matter, that still counts. People under 18 getting killed. Still counts. And who's in wits? I think that's all for the shading proportion. Now it's time for the texture portion. I was going to say decoration, but then I realized that's wrong, so I said shading instead. Or no, texture instead. So I should have said texture department. You need to be bigger, and it looks like you do need to be 5. Not 50. And now we just go on ahead and get this entire dirt path filled in like so. And after we texture, we're going to go on ahead and do other things. Like blood. Blood as far as the eye can see. Concrete walls. Apparently, my parents were watching Misery? I've never seen it. I only seen the Family Guy rendition, so I didn't really figure out how it ended. Man's used a typewriter to just bash her skull in. Man, I deserved it, man. Yeah, I guess that's the thing when it comes to having fame. You gotta be careful of the psychopaths out there. That's why you gotta be a psychopath. Out psycho the psychopath. Or sociopath. I don't know which one I am, but there's a side of me that's either one or both. I mean, you've seen how angry and psychotic and bloodthirsty I got talking about the fucking chainsaw asshole and the Amish bearded fucking insect guy. Not one of the first major bosses, the last major boss of the village portion. You saw what I was like. I'm clearly some level of unhinged, but I still have some sense of reality to not go completely off the rails. I still have some morality, even though sometimes it's shaky. What is the best way to describe someone like that? Bipolar. I mean, is it bipolar to be filled with rage? I think that's more like a temper. Anger problem. But then again, if you have an anger problem, you are a completely different person. But I feel like my kind of different person is literally a bloodthirsty psychopath. Granted, it's usually towards something that's, is usually a bad guy. So I don't think it's... I mean, it's like the Dexter of psychopaths or some shit. I don't exactly know. All I know is all I did was look up Google serial killer that kills other serial killers, and apparently I saw Dexter. Never watched it before. All I know is I'm probably that. Or just pure psychopath. I don't know, and I don't care. I don't know, and I don't care. Psychotic problems, what we have. But we have it on the wrap sometimes. Sometimes. Only when I am under complete rage. Which, as of late, it's mostly just crappy machines breaking down too much and having to deal with the exhaustion of the job. And annoyingly difficult games. That's really the only time the demon comes out. Y'all remember the demon? Y'all remember him? God, I don't even know when that was. Couldn't have been that long ago. Where is he? There he is. Y'all remember him? The demon? That guy? I haven't seen you in a while, and you two are also frequent. But you come out whenever I'm angry. I'm angry. Remember when I had that hairstyle too? Yep. Anger. I would prefer not to get there. I mean, you've seen how angry I've gotten with some of freaking Sonic Adventures 2, and it's nonsense. That broken planet. The spherical planet. This is the spherical planet. Yes, it's a spherical planet. No, it's a fucking moon, but sure, it's a spherical freaking planet that is filled with confusing gravity inverse control. Trying to get past the equator is a literal nightmare. It is the worst freaking thing in that place. The gravity just being finicky as all hell. God, I am not looking forward to trying to do 2 sets of corkscrew kicks. Granted, I think I can just infinitely glide over the planet. Trying to get that damn train, I noticed that you kind of do have a lot more glide ability. Issue is, let's just say that, also I should get rid of the blank thing, do this so I can grab this. Perfect, it's kind of the same color. Let's just say that it's very easy to overshoot and undershoot that damn thing. Oh, I'm not looking forward to the complete and utter nonsense that is going to be the hard mode. I know where all of the emeralds are. At least I believe I do know. There is one on the spherical planet on a platform that's a pain in the ass to get to. There's one all the way up top on a corkscrew area. I gotta remember where the second one was. Second one was somewhere, but I don't remember where. Maybe the second one was the spherical planet one. Hard to say, really. Yeah, trail of blood. But yeah, I just am not looking forward to the nightmare that is going to be that. You kidding me? And plus, getting a perfect corkscrew off every time? Yeah, no, that's not going to be fun. I mean, if we could do it and do it well, we could get past it very quickly, but I doubt it. It's not one of those things I can get done with in a fast instant. It's going to take a whole bunch of attempts just to be able to get it right. You'll see it. Maybe not next episode, but soon you'll see it. Oh, it's a pool of blood. How many people died to make this pool of blood? Giant monster giant monster crawling through the tunnels. Sounds of chainsaws and power drills echo down this metal hall. And the sounds of screaming as they gurgle out, I don't know. And the smell of iron gets stronger the deeper you go. You hear the sounds of a lot of metal clanking, squelching crying of a child, screaming out in distortion. Lots of blood seen on the walls as you see your trail. Look down ahead and you see a mess of intestines behind a doll. Making out a sight of a child in the mess of tendrils and metal. Looks like a corpse torn in half, bloodied and rotten. Something that rhymes with half. So I'm not rhyming. I can't rhyme worth shit. But I still sing it. 'Cause that's what I did. 'Cause I'm tired and I'm trying to keep up some form of entertainment. Even if I don't have to be on beat. Don't need to be on beat. Don't need to be on beat. Yep. Good. Great. Fantastic. Alright, time to texturize this blood. That's a lot of blood. These guys died and had their blood go all over. They got killed, and then their blood went all over walls and ceiling, and they got some that they're on the pipes up here. Can barely even see it because the pipes are already kind of blood colored. Must suck to be somebody who got caught by that thing. Could probably try to make the blood a little bit more solid. Yeesh. Maybe I could do an overlay. Overlay of both, maybe. Grab it. Overlay. Okay, yeah, no, that works. Unless I want to do something like pin lighting. No. Linear light? No. Soft light. Hard light? Reverse. Hard light. That didn't make a difference. Overlay is the only one I can really think of that kind of works perfectly with that. I guess what I could do is try to delete some of these so that this shows as that. Some, but not all. Yeah. Maybe make it more darker. More saturation? Less saturation? Leave it at 0. Do I have a brush that can perfectly replicate sprawling out intestines? Any brush. Wait. I do have a sticks brush. But is that going to be convincing enough to make it look like a bunch of it? It could look like shattered bones, maybe. I do have the rock brush that can look like chunks of flesh. That could work. Actually, wait, yeah, hold on. Chunks of flesh. Of course. Chunks of flesh. Alright, I'm just going to have flesh layer over here. Alright, I need you to go out farther. Not too small. Scatter. Where that flesh at? Oh, that's not gonna work. That's gotta be... There we go. Wait a minute. If we're doing chunks of flesh, then one of y'all's have to be darker and the other one even darker. Flesh and entrails on the wall because these guys just got freaking ganked. I mean, that would make sense, right? A whole bunch of flesh chunks all over the place. Coagulated blood that got coagulated as soon as it got eviscerated out of this person's body. Coagulation. Coagulation. Why does that sound funny? Coagulation. Chunks of flesh. Or just thick blood spurts, actually. Hold on. That kind of makes sense. Along with the thick mists of blood spurts. Oh my god, I discovered a new technique. And it's not as good as I've discovered a new recipe. Oh, it looks like chunks of blood coming out. Yes, I've learned a new technique. I use the rock asteroids to create bits of blood coming out. We can even still keep the red blood spurts there as, like, mist bits. Oh man, and there's gonna be like a bunch more chunks coming out of this. Oh, I've learned new technique. Bubbles of blood. Ooh, it got that evisceration to it. It's wonderful to learn new technique, especially for Macabre and horror stuff. Because you know what that means? We've got some good stuff going to be coming out with all this blood spurts. All these... Man, it's just... I know I shouldn't be excited, but I am. Because now I've got a new technique that I can use to make this blood look like actual blood. I wasn't sure how this was going to work. I'm glad I went for the flesh chunks. I'm glad I picked the flesh chunks. These flesh chunks, they really did help out here. Way more than I could have ever anticipated. Oh yeah, there's like a whole bunch of blood coming out of here. Oh, it depends. The blood... Oh, wait, no. Thanks for reminding me. Is the blood coming out of all of that, or is it, I've learned a new technique, and this is good. We've learned new techniques. We have a new movie idea in mind, and we have a new technique in mind. We got actually a few movie ideas in mind, but I don't know which one we'd go for. This is actually pretty good, because now we can actually make good-looking blood spurts. It looks like rock bits from afar, but it makes sense because it originates from a rock, or from up close. Well, depends. If you have very small chunks and very large chunks, then you got yourself something good. Blood drops coming off of that. Ugh, I hate to do it, but blood coming out of the eye. Yes, that's right. Ugh. Squeamish with the eye stuff, but flesh... Well, now that I mention it... Well, now that you mention it... Oh. But yeah, it's a whole lot more... I'm glad I've learned this new technique. Glad I did. It adds more to it, Now, if I can remember this... Makes me wonder if I can use this for other kind of, like water droplets. Maybe, if I can remember. But yeah, water droplets. Eesh, man, look at all that blood. Look at all that blood. I'll tell you what the problem is. Got no blood. He says that he looks at this guy whose corpse is cut up and drained of all of its blood. That's a problem. He ain't got no blood. Yep. Oh, Christ. Well, we're almost done. We've been at this for 3.5 hours. Jesus. Well, you know what? Now is as good a time as ever to get to the shadow parts. We got another long art time episode. But I'm glad I'm going to be able to finish this in time to be able to get the drawing posted, and then I'll be somewhat caught up. No doubt about it. I'm going to have to get that other's drawing drawn on Saturday. Yep. I wasn't too sure about this in the beginning, but yeah, I made it come together, no problem. There's a few things I probably could have done a little bit differently. Maybe I could have removed an eye here and have a porcelain bit broken off there, but it's fine. I think it's fine the way it is. Having the face still be showing at the very least. I really think the shadow should be at 50% flow instead. 50% flow, 10% opacity. Yes, sirree. Probably going to be I don't know, maybe a red light occurring somewhere here. But it's probably going to still be dark. Just eyes kind of going in different directions as it just murders you. It's not even looking at you to murder you. It's just killing you outright. Man, that must suck. This old man over here got killed. His entire torso got destroyed. Even his vest got completely destroyed. We don't even know where the hell his vest is. This guy's vest is still in the process of getting destroyed. That guy got killed first. This guy got killed afterwards. You can see because most of his body is still intact. One of his eyeball got eviscerated while the other one is penetrated by a drill. And you just see this path over there of all this shish. Actually, I don't even think I can put in what do you call it here? I mean, yeah, if I go over this and have it go over with another, and then it works. Trying to fill in most of these so I can fill in most of that. Have some shadows in the background while also having shadows here. But I'll go into the background and put its own separate shadow layer so it's not complete. That is flesh. That's not shadows. You fool! Whoops. You foolish fool, whom of which is foolish and fool. Yeah, it's all dark over there. Because the lights got burnt or broken as this thing passes through. And you see how big these guys are and how big this tunnel is and how big this thing is? This thing right here? Yeah, there's no way you would escape. You'll be running down a path of death and torment. Every time you go down a hallway now, you're going to think something bad's about to happen, and you're going to run into this thing. And then once you hear a series of power drills and chainsaws and other sorts of, spinning saw blades, you're going to be like, oh, fuck. And you're going to just run in the opposite direction, hoping that whatever the hell's making that noise is this thing. And if you're working here, your boss is going to wonder, why the hell are you not here yet? And I'm like, I heard a bunch of chainsaws and stuff in this area. It just, I got frightened. It was a hallway. I saw, God damn it, Jenkins, this thing doesn't exist. He says as the noises get louder as it comes closer to him. Get your ass down here! What? Ah! Ah! And he just gets myrtleized. Well, there goes Mr. Bossman, I guess. Whatever his name is. Do I need to save this landscape? I don't know if I'm going to use this again, but I'm just going to save this and I'm going to call this, I don't know, Construction Playground. Right now we only really see the tunnel. There is a playground portion, a big open area with sunlight peering through. But right now we only see the tunnel. Alright, I need to go over to Fa. And I should probably revert all of these back real quick before I do anything else. That one's fine for now, because that's probably going to be different. Alright, what kind of color are we going for here? I'm thinking like maybe a nice dark blue, teal-esque. So maybe like, I don't know, teal, and then dark blue in the background portion. Whoops. This is mostly just a counter. It's blue and orange. Blue fog or orange light. What you scoffing at? I try cat. Did that help? No, you still scoffing? I don't know why, but I felt a bit of congestion for a second. I don't know. Don't know. I just do not know. Man, this thing. Can anybody tell me what this thing reminds you of? Like a very specific thing, like the hairstyle, the outfit. It reminds me of something, but I can't put my finger on it. It is supposed to represent a toy of some form, but I can't remember what it was. Me can't remember. Alright, now for the overlay of the light. Yep. Man, now the effects and shadows are coming. It's like the shadows somehow, I don't know why. It's like without the shadows, the drawing just doesn't look as good. And without the effects, the drawing doesn't look twice as good as it does with it. Somehow the light and the effects and all of that stuff makes it pop more. I don't know, maybe it's just the vividness of the overlay that somehow manages to add more to this scene. You've seen it with multiple drawings. A lot of them that looks like, oh, this can't look good. This is probably going to look like shit. And then it turns out it looks good. And even if the drawing itself doesn't have as much as I wanted to put into it to make it look as good, the effects still make it look pretty good. It's just, you know, not saying we didn't put a lot of work in the last one. It's just like there's a few things I probably could have done differently. Like the trees. The world tree, even. This one, well, there isn't really much that we can do. Walls, some pipes, the ceiling, dirt floor. Plus, this makes up most of it, so a lot of the stuff here is just the decapitated, delimbed, deskinned, mutilated bodies of two men, and a series of chainsaws, saw blades, steak knives, scythes, drills, and a giant doll that's cut in half and has a series of saw blades and chainsaws inside of its chest cavity. making up most of the drawing. Okay, so yeah, I guess we did put a little bit more effort into this and the same amount of time as we did with, well, no, that one was more like 3 days. But again, we were kind of rushing. I really wish I can get to a point where I don't have to worry about rushing anymore and I can take my time with things. If I didn't have to worry about work, it probably would have been done with that in 2 days and it would have looked a hell of a lot better. Or if I'd have given myself more time, I probably could have spent like a week working on that and then we would have been a hell of a lot better. Although I don't know how that would have turned out. Still, it would have been slightly better. Not to say it's bad, it still looks good. Prior episode, and if you forgot, it was this thing right here. It still looks good, it's just, I could have done this better. I could have done the trees better. Especially because it looks like the trees are smaller than the windows here. They made like way taller trees and have like a few sprawn about and then have them go smaller and smaller as it goes out like that. Could have, should have, didn't. Too late now. Drawing's finished, and it still looks good, it's just it could have been better. There could have been a hell of a lot more that I could have done. At the very least, this still looks good. Which is good, because I do want to try to keep up with the theme of the, Reginald's Macabre cases. And having drawings look good. Well, granted, these are like old drawings still. The last one, the Escorter, was in 2021. I don't remember what album that was. I really don't remember what album that was. And I closed the thing, so I'm not going to bother opening it up. It's whatever. It's fine. Do I have effects out right now? I do. Good. But yeah, it's good to be back. Doing Reginald's Macabre cases again. And if you didn't know, through the reading, Reginald Franklin's voice sounds like Sir Hammerlock. Can't do his voice. Good evening, Vault Hunters. I have money and a problem. Reginald Franklin here. Still can't do his voice. I don't have the voice, I don't have the tone, and I don't have the accent. But you know what I mean. Yeah, that's Reginald Franklin's voice, Sir Hammerlock. So whenever you read these cases, that's the voice you should be using. And so whoever does the voice of Sir Hammerlock also, did you just do the stupid? No. You just did a different kind of stupid. Alright, some pink area. Depends. How much do I want here? And we got like, lighting up the corpses, I guess. Teal area. And we got some light stuff. I'll put some dark stuff in. But it's more than just the teal I'm going to put in. I'm also going to get some dark blue. Have her cover up most of the saw blades in the back. And look at, as it like runs around its intestines and its large intestines and small intestines with claws on it, just like jumps up and down, flings around. And then the continuation of the body in the back there, like that just keeps going and drags like smaller intestines in the back. Yeah, it's pretty gruesome and grotesque, but that makes sense given the story. Given what occurs here. Yeah, some nice orange. I'm probably going to get some... well, I should keep... Nah. I'll still have the blue there to kind of balance it out a bit so it's not all orange. Because without it, it looks way too orange. With it, it makes it darker. I'm going to have some brown on the edges. Yeah, look at that. Alright, now for the sepia. I think. I don't think I have anything else. Is this cat really pawing at our food? That's not where I want to go. I want to go here. Sepia. Stop going there, you stupid hair, Sepia. Almost 4 hours again. Can you believe it? Almost 4 hours? At least we're almost done. Okay. That could look good. Let me look around. See if there's any more. Like a nice magenta. Magenta. Maybe not. Oh, yellow could work. Now what about you? That could work if I did it like this. I gotta say though, the lustful horror drawings that I've done, it helped me improve upon this. Now, this isn't like the lustful horrors thing where there's a whole bunch of decrepitness in there. No, it's just a bunch of blood and chunks. Lustful horrors is gonna have the lines on it. But Reginald's Macabre cases will remain as is. I would say if there's one thing I should do here before I fully finish this off, I need dust. Some kind of dust to have in like the background. That's not what I wanted. Yeah, some kind of dust in the background. Makes sense because if this thing is crawling through the dust, there's probably a lot of dust buildup. And as dust builds up, so does the blood. So there's a lot, probably very dusty death. I don't know if you're going to feel pain after that. If you're getting cut up in multiple different parts, you're probably not going to feel pain anymore after. Well, it depends on how your brain feels. I don't even know how the hell that would work. Would everything just shut off immediately? No clue. Alright, time for dust particles. Ugh. Where's them fireflies? I'm going ahead and turn them into dust particles. Opacity jitter. Shape jitter, 100 to 1. Space it out. Should be fine. I remember I used to do something like this before in the past. With this one drawing from a long time ago. I don't even remember what album it was. Was it album 6? Probably even before that. Album 4, maybe. It had to have been at least around here or album 3. Or 2. It could be any album, really. Ah, there it is, the porcelain doll. Yes, album 2 drawing. What an old one. My skills back then. I don't even know if you can see most of this. There was supposed to be like an eye back here. But it's so old, long time ago. There's even somebody over here. Plus, I think the JPEG's not as high quality. But yeah, that's what I was talking about. These things here. It used to be so damn vivid. Now it's more succinct. It's not as vivid. It's still vivid, but it's not as vivid. I've refined it. This is my style that I've been working on for several freaking years. Sometimes I get some drawings that aren't as good, but still looks generally good. Sometimes I get masterpieces, like the lustful horror ones, or this one, for instance. This one's pretty freaking good. Not gonna lie, I do like the way it looks. I guarantee it. I think that's all. I think that's all I wanted to put here. Oh, if it is all, then let me. Do I want to do make the eyebrows darker or something? Yeah, that works. And just see this thing opening up. You can see like the metal in the back, the metal flesh-like thing in the back. As there's stuff coming out of its mouth and its chest cavity. Oh, right. Forgot about the red glow, of course. How could I forget? The red glow just, okay, brighter than that. Maybe vivid lighting is what we want. Vivid lighting, hard red glue. Vivid lighting again, but have it be more red. Maybe at 50% again. Not sure if I want it there or if I want it here. It makes sense because it looks like through through here the red glow is kind of like, maybe that's where the corpse resides and the red glow is there. Whoops, there we go. Alright, look at this monstrosity. I like the way the blood looks though. I am genuinely surprised that I found this new technique. But you know what? It makes sense that I would find a new technique upon returning to Reginald's Macabre cases, so I'll take it. Anyways, with effects, without effects. With effects, without effects. Huge difference. The atmosphere is just spooky, grotesque, horrifying. Whatever word you can find, it's got it. Now it's taking ages to say. There we go. So anyways, there we go, folks. Almost another 4 hours, eh? Alright, well, that's all for now. So thank y'all for watching today's episode of Art Time. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like, subscribe for more, check out that their playlist, and of course, previous episode of Art Time right over here, and most recent episode of Played Up, OTC Edition. Less gory and gruesome. Anyways, thank you all for watching, and I will see you all in the next episode. Later.